And we're gonna start the stream. I have a new chair set up, so I'm a lot more comfortable when I sit around. And we're going to read Tsumihoroboshi. Yeah. Hua 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 huari. I don't know, I have the Toho song stuck in my head. Anyway. They were mowing the grass near the fence, which was probably a cover to monitor the surroundings, just in case I tried to escape from the school, but they must have been thinking that would only happen after school was over. They seemed to have no idea that I'd already noticed their plan and was trying to run away at that very moment. I couldn't use the front gate since they'd find me easily. Oops. I moved behind the school building and made sure nobody was around the curry garden, ran through it, and dashed into the forest. Okay, hold on. Ah, this chair is squeaky. I hate squeaky chairs. Give me one. I walked through the dense undergrowth, stepping on the dead wood and climbing over the fallen trees. After walking through the forest for a while, I came to a small road. I know many back roads in this village because I know of our club activities and the knowledge that had finally come in handy. So what should I do now? I'm sure the girl already passed on my message to Chie. Those men must be going crazy right now, knowing that I ran away. Did anyone else talk to Ryugu before she left school? Everybody in class looked at each other and shook their heads. Chie looked a bit upset that Rena left school early without telling her in person. Rena has been feeling sick these days. She left her bag here. What happened to her? I have a bad feeling about this. What? I think I know what's going on. I'm not sure, but I have a very bad feeling about this. She must have taken another ridiculous story seriously or something. I hope she won't do anything crazy. I hurried home. My father might be at his new job, or he might have gone shopping. He wasn't around when I got there. Now that they're on the move, I'm no longer safe in my house. They're very dangerous people. They're trained to be capable of attacking the Ministry of Construction. They actually pull out the kidnapping of the grandson of the minister. Locked doors and windows don't mean anything to them. In fact, it'd be like I was hiding in a box where they would just open up to get to me. I could no longer stay at home. It's very sad and very frustrating. I killed Rina and Teppei and finally regained a peaceful life with my father. How could this happen to me? I remember what Keiichi told me before. I expressed my feelings better than anything. Takano left us a huge parting gift. Why did she give me those terrifying scrapbooks? Why did she tell me the secret of that unthinkable conspiracy? She got me into this. I didn't do anything. It's all Mio's fault. But who else was interested in her stories? I was. Who let her continue talking? I did. I did all that out of curiosity. Who let the memories of Ibaraki return and told Mio about them? I did. I depended on Mio, hoping that she could somehow save me from the memories I've been trying to forget. I shouldn't have remembered anything about that bizarre incident. If I hadn't, I wouldn't have gotten involved in that unthinkable conspiracy. I could have just played around with my friends today. But even if I didn't know about the conspiracy, it'd still continue behind the scenes. I would have been one member of the mob running out in panic, not knowing what's going on the day of Oyashiro's revival. I would have just been swallowed up in their conspiracy anyway. Would I be happier if I faced that day without knowing anything? Would I be happier if I struggled without knowing about it but ended up swallowed by it? If I'm going to end up the same way no matter what I choose to do, I'll fight. I'll choose to fight, because that's how I seized my happiness before. When Rina invaded my home seducing my father, I felt like it was the end of the world. I lived on the verge of despair every day. I thought that was the worst misfortune that could befall anyone. But the way things are going, it wasn't really that bad at all. I had only two enemies, Mamiya Rina and Hojo Teppei. I knew my enemies, and I knew how many there were. I lured them out one by one, and I attacked them in the dark. It was a very easy problem to solve. But what about this one? I don't know who my enemies are, and I don't know how many or how strong they are. Even the people I once trusted might be my enemies. I can't possibly be sure. It's totally different from the previous problem. This might be the end of the world. This time it really was the worst thing that could possibly happen. But Is that really the case? With Rina, I felt like it was the end of the world, but I could no longer think it was that bad. So this might turn out to be an easy problem to solve in the end, and I might be able to laugh about it someday. I know that day will come. I know it for sure. So I shouldn't think that this is the end of the world. Let's fight. I can fight. I can still struggle. I'd eat grass and drink mud if I needed to. I'm going to bet on the 1% chance, even though it's unbelievably small. If Mio didn't leave me the scrapbooks, I wouldn't even have been able to sit at the table to bet. I was lucky that I received the scrapbooks because they gave me the chance to choose my future. If I don't fight, they'll spread the terrible parasite. This village will face a great disaster. According to the legend, when the demons first came out of the swamp, people became demons right after being infected, and it happened while they were inside the village. These days, the symptoms appear only when infected people leave the village, but that only applies to the later weak parasite. The original parasite can reenact the curse of Oyashiro even when the infected are in the village. The legend of Oyashiro will be reborn. Humans and demons will start killing each other, and Oyashiro will come back to pacify the disaster. That's what they want! They want people to prostrate themselves before that miracle, and only the people who truly worship Oyashiro will be saved. I see. I know their true intention now. They're going to reenact the legend of Oyashiro. After all, the villagers always say that Rika is his reincarnation. The stage is all set. They're going to use the parasite as the curse, so how are they going to make it look like Oyashiro came down to pacify everyone? I get it. They must have some kind of medicine, a specific cure for the parasite. When they recreated the stronger form of the parasite, they found a cure for it at the same time. They're going to use this cure to save only those people who believe in Oyashiro. As a result, this village will only have fervent believers. They're going to make themselves the absolute rulers of Hinamizawa. Wait, I still might be underestimating them. Are they only going to carry out the horrifying act of bioterrorism only inside Hinamizawa? History proves that their goal is to control others. People desire to spread their religion across a wild area. I'm sure that there's conducted research not only to bring back the primitive form of the parasite, but also to overcome its weakness. Namely, that it only thrives in Hinamizawa. According to Mia's research, the parasite doesn't like the host to be far from the region. Its weakness is distance. If they could extend the distance, if they could extend the area where it could live. I wonder how far along their research is. But now the parasite might be able to live not only in Hinamizawa, but Okinomiya as well, or maybe even in the city. Maybe the whole prefecture? It might be able to cover nearby prefectures as well. This is too serious to just call a conspiracy. It's horrifying enough and it's a large scale enough to call it a revolution. The day of revival is probably not far off. I can tell by how they killed Mio and the extent of their pressure they're putting on me. They're trying to get rid of the small fishbone stuck in their throat by any means because that day is coming ever closer. I'm the only one who can stand up against their revolution. I can't trust anybody. I think I can trust Keiichi, but no one else. Michan's out of the question. I can't trust Rika either. Sadako and Rika stick together like super glue, so I can't trust Sadako either. I can't trust any adults. I can't trust anybody. Nobody's on my side. I have to stand up against them alone. The clock is ticking toward that day, and the ticking noise made me frustrated. How should I fight against them? What should I do? I needed time to think. I need a place, a safe area where I can concentrate on thinking. Fortunately, I had such an area already. My hideout at the garbage dump. Nobody ever goes there, so it's safe. Even if they found out about that place, I'm familiar with the surroundings. I know escape routes and places where I can hide. But it has a big shortcoming as a hiding place. It's not hard to imagine what that is. I don't have any stock of food there. That's why I came home. I opened one of my father's drawer and took out his cash box. The contents haven't been changed since the last time I looked inside. There were many new 10,000 yen bills in the cash box. I took them all. I couldn't tell how many bills there actually were, but it looked about to be 80 of them. This should be plenty. If I evaded them long enough to use all this money, that would mean I did pretty well. Plus, I might be able to buy someone off. You can never have too much money, especially in a situation like this. I didn't take the bank book. If they were weighing an ambush at the bank, I'd be done for. It's too risky to withdraw money at the bank. I grabbed my backpack. I took the key from my bicycle. I put everything I think would be convenient to have into the backpack. I didn't care if it got heavy. I'd choose what was necessary to carry around later in my hideout. If there was something that ended up being that I didn't need, I could leave it there. I looked at the clock. It had been 30 minutes since I came home. I stayed here too long. I rushed out of the house. I went to a small convenience store and bought as much sweet bread and canned food as I could fit in my backpack. An old lady was at the register, probably suffering from dementia. She showed no interest in the extraordinary amount of food I was buying. Oh hey, it's the Akasaka's place where he was at before. I don't know. As soon as the manager of the store checked the sales that night, he'd find out. The idea didn't bother me because I could no longer walk around the village around daylight anyway. My backpack is full, and the cans hurt my back as I walk. But that didn't bother me either. I got to my hideout still carrying the heavy backpack. I organized the stuff I bought. It was very heavy to carry, but now I had sufficient food. The abandoned construction office was still running water, so I could get some there. If I wanted to get some vegetables, but in a situation like this, I could hardly complain. After I organized things, I took out the scrapbooks I hid there, and I put my brain to top gear flipping through the pages. So now what? How am I going to stand up against this gigantic conspiracy? I needed to calm down, stay cool, but also to think fast. There might not be a lot of time, so I have to hurry, but I don't know what to do. It's easy to run to school in the morning when I oversleep. It's easy because I know where I should go, but now I don't know where I should go or what I should do. Now that I've gone to this point, I should tell Oishi everything. It's very likely he's an enemy, but that doesn't matter anymore. If that's true, I'd just declare war. But if he was on my side, he'd be my only remaining hope. I'm far too weak to stand alone against a terrifying scale this conspiracy poised to instill fear throughout Japan. I still have to use the public phone to make a phone call. There's only one public phone in this village, and it stands in a place where it's hard for people to spot you. The phone booth. It stands in the middle of nowhere where nobody really comes around. Many bugs gather around that light when it's dark. It's not a pleasant place to go to. But I can't think of any other public phones I can use to contact Oishi without being seen. Even though it stands in the middle of nowhere, it's still dangerous to use in daylight. I should wait until nightfall and take advantage of the darkness. I heard that Oishi has been holed up in the station since Mio's murder case, so I should be able to reach him at any time. I had the number for the direct line to his office, too. The sky was still bright. Even though I had no time, I still had to wait for it to get dark. Frustrated, I glared at the sunset. I should find something to do. I couldn't waste any time I had, so there must be something to do. After I thought about what I could do, I found there was something I wanted to confirm. Something I'd been worried about. I couldn't do anything about it before it got dark anyway. Staying here would do nothing but make me feel more frustrated. I made my decision and left the hideout. Rena's father paced up and down restlessly in front of his house. A bicycle appeared, its rider ringing the bell. "Police officer here, over here!" A police officer from Hinamizawa police station had shown up. Having rushed to get there, he was breathing hard. "I hope you didn't wait too long. Please tell me what happened." "I know I locked the door before I left, but when I came back, the door was left open and..." He led the police officer into the house. "Sorry. And look, my cash box was left open in my room." "Is this how you found it? You didn't touch anything?" "I didn't touch the cash box itself because I thought they might have left fingerprints. I did touch the contents a little to check what was missing." And what did they take?" "They didn't take my bank books or my personal seal, but they took the cash." "Huh. They didn't take your bank books or personal seal, huh? You were lucky. Professional thieves today don't take bank books because they know how easily they can get caught by using them. This might be a professional cat burglar. Instead of taking the cash books with him, he opened it here. He has to be a pro." "So how much cash was in there?" I haven't counted it for a long time. I believe there were about 110,000 yen bills." "Ah, I see. Did you tell anybody you had that much cash in there?" "No, I didn't. But they probably knew I kept some cash in the house." "They? Who are they? Can you tell me more about them?" "Well, it's kind of an embarrassing story. Her name was Mamiya Rina, and..." Just then the phone rang. "Oh, excuse me. I'll just go get that." "Please give me a minute." He grabbed the phone. "Hello, this is the Ryugu residence." Hello. This is Maibara. Is Rena here?" "No. She hasn't come back from school yet." "She hasn't? I'm very sorry, but I'm in the middle of something right now. You call back later. I'm sorry. Bye. He hung up after that. I was stunned. It didn't look like anything had changed on the surface. It was hard to find this place at all because it perfectly blends in with the surroundings. I only found this place again because I remember there was a tree with a big lump of wood on it nearby. The spot where I buried the corpses was perfectly camouflaged as if nothing had happened. That's why at first I thought I came to the wrong place. But I could make out a certain once I stick a shovel into the ground. I should be able to tell right away whether this place was dug up before or not. After several false starts, I found the exact spot where I buried the corpses. But the biggest problem of all is that there are no bags in there at all! Why? How come? Did I bury them deeper than this? No, I didn't. I remember exactly how deep I buried them. I know I didn't bury them deeper than this! I wasn't expecting this. I came here to check the corpses. I just wanted to do that to kill some time. I didn't want to stay in my hideout doing nothing, so I came to check if the corpses I buried was still there. I'd make sure they were still there, and I'd feel relieved. It was supposed to go like that! This was an unexpected turn of events. I broke out in a cold sweat. What's going on? What's going on? I don't need to calm down to think about what happened. Corpses can't come back to life and crawl out of the ground. Someone must have dug them out. Who did it and for what purpose? Did anyone happen to see us burying the corpses here? Did they dig them out after we left? What if they handed them over to the police? No, it can't be. It's been quite a while since the day we buried them here. It was before the Watanagashi festival, so the police pulled out the corpses. Then Oishi contacted me. He had to know about Rina and Teppei, but he didn't tell me anything about them. I don't think he was hiding anything on purpose either. So that means the police don't know anything about Rina and Teppei yet. Then why are the corpses gone? That would only leave one answer. Who knows about this place? One of us came out here, dug out the bags, and took them away! The first person who comes to mind is Mion. I mean the Sonozaki family, but I can't think of a reason why they would do that. The murder of Rina and Teppei have nothing to do with them. I'm sure they don't want to get involved either, let alone be falsely accused. They must want to stay as far away from this case as possible. Why would they want to keep the corpses? It's like keeping a joker even though you'll lose the joker by the end of the game. If I was Michan, what would I do? What would I do if I was club president? The joker is a card you want to get rid of, at least in the game I mentioned earlier, but it becomes a powerful card in other games. What kind of game would that be? An electric shock ran through my spine. At the same time, I realized they're one step ahead of me. The Sonozaki family got the corpses to use them as a joker, as a wild card. They're trying to use them to sell me out to the police. The Sonozaki family's trying to kill me using their death squad, but they want to have insurance just in case I fail. The thing they're afraid of the most is that I might work together with the police. If they could prevent that from happening, I'd have no one to work with. If that happens, I can no longer run away from them. I'd still be a fish in their pond. They're going to use the corpses to sell me out to the police for the murder of Rina and Teppei. If the police started seeing me as a suspect, they'd never listen to my story. They could have at least had my last hope, but this will certainly turn them against me. Sorry. Something's in my throat. Damn it. Okay. I'm sure the Sonozaki family doesn't want to use their joker unless absolutely necessary. After all, Sonozaki and Mio helped bury their corpses. Plus, they don't want the police to hover around Hinamizawa when the day of revival is so close. I'm going to call Oishi tonight. I'm going to go ask him for help. I'm going to tell him everything, including the things I haven't even told Keiichi. I don't know if Oishi would believe me. This is a gamble, and my chance of winning is very small. Plus, my enemy has the joker, the bags with corpses inside. I'm impressed with Mio. That's just what I expect from the leader of our club. This is a battle I'm betting my life on, but to Mio, this is a board game, taking place across Hinamizawa itself. I grin, repeating to myself, it's just a game. I put my life on the line for every club activity I do because I don't want to suffer the punishment. This time that's become the literal truth. There could be only one reason why they're trying so hard to drive me into a corner. It's because they're afraid of me. I assumed I was just a little girl with no power running about in confusion, but my enemy must not be thinking that way. If they didn't think I was a threat to them, they wouldn't take risks like this to drive me into a corner. That means the scrapbooks Mio left to me, they must be more dangerous to them than I think they are. I see. They have a joker, but so do I. The joker I have is so deadly and powerful that I can break their plot into pieces. That's why they're so eager to find me. A corner mouse really can bite a cat. I felt my fear toward my enemy fade away all of a sudden. Just as I fear them, so do they fear me too. So this is an evenly matched game. I don't have as bad as a hand as I thought I did. I was right to come here. I found out about the card my enemy was holding. This is a big deal. I felt myself shiver with excitement. I grinned to encourage myself. I don't need to be here any longer. They know this place. They might come here to find me. It's not safe for me to stay here long. I decided to go back to my hideout. On the way back, I passed close to my house. I noticed something different right away. I hid behind a bush and looked at the front gate of my house. My father was talking to the police officer. I strained to catch their conversation. Yes, she usually parks it there. My father pointed to the place where I usually parked my bicycle. Okay. Please let us know whenever your daughter comes back. We'll try to find her as well. Mi-chan, you're good. Did you already play your Joker? Oh my god, Rena, it's because you took the money. It could be seen as thievery. Come on. Or robbery. Mion always starts a battle by attacking without hesitation and wins. It seems the police are already after me. My chance of being able to explain the conspiracy to Oishi was already small, but this makes it even smaller. No. That's why I'm going to talk to Oishi. He sees the Sonozaki family as his enemy. He's going to expose everything about them before his retirement. That's why he'll be on my side. He's not going to fall for their trick. Of course, there's a very high possibility that everything was part of their trap from the very beginning. It's possible he claimed the Sonozaki family was his enemy in order to make me believe he's on my side. But their Joker is actually giving me hope. If Oishi's one of them, it'd be too early to play their Joker. Oishi isn't one of them. That's why they got the Joker, so they can play it before I go to the police. Now wait, that might be a trick to make me think that way in order to make me trust Oishi. When Mion gives me two choices to choose from, it's usually better to choose the one I like without thinking too much. Mion, after all, likes to guess people's intention in order to confuse them. So when you think about a choice too much, you're already in her trap. I'm going to do as I planned. I'm going to call Oishi after it gets dark. If he's going to become my ally, we can talk about the future. And if he isn't, that I realized was what I had to think about before it got dark. Sorry I messed up and I coughed and stuff. I mean... But yeah, I'm basically about to call out Rena here because it's like, Rena, no, it's because you freaking robbed your house! No, don't worry about calling so late. I don't get paid overtime, but I'm on duty as long as I'm here. I started the conversation with an ordinary greeting to try to gauge his reaction. There's a 50-50 chance that Oishi is one of them. If he's their pawn, he can either lure me out somewhere so he'll arrest me, or he'll ask me where the scrapbooks are. But even if he didn't, that wouldn't prove anything. It's going to be difficult to determine if he's on my side or not. I'd have to tell him about the scrapbooks no matter what. My heart's beating very fast. Even if I was sure Oishi isn't their pawn, I'd still have to make him believe such a crazy story, and I have to do it over the phone. Worrying wouldn't do anything for me. This is, I know, a gamble, but I have a small chance of winning. If I didn't put my chips on the table, the game wouldn't even start. I told you a little bit about this before, but I think somebody's following me. Are you sure about that? Yes. I wasn't sure before. I thought it was just my imagination, but things have changed over the past few days, and now I'm certain. What do you mean things have changed? A few cars have been following me. One of them is a white van with 4 men in it. They disguise themselves as gardeners, but they actually attack units. Attack units? You mean the Sonozaki family's death squad? Yes. I'm pretty sure that's them. They came to my school today. I managed to escape from them in time, but it was very close. But why would they do that? Did they think you were trying to sniff out their connection to Tomitake's murder? Oishi hasn't mentioned the scrapbooks yet. It sounded rather unnatural to beat around the bush like that by mentioning Tomitake's murder. But I still haven't told him about the scrapbooks. It could be a legitimate reaction. To tell you the truth, I heard some bad news. I wanted to confirm a bit before letting you know, but we did promise to share new information, so this is what I heard. It seems the Sonozaki corpse and the Okinomiya are on the move. Are you talking about the Sonozaki corpse? Yes. You might find a bit of it as a shock. They order their greenhorns to find a certain person. A certain person? My heart stopped for a moment hearing that. Are they? It's hard to believe, but you're the person they're looking for. They're trying to find you. I just got this information, so I don't know the reason why, but they're mentioning your name. So you believe my story that my life's in danger? Yes. It matches with my information perfectly. Ryugu, what's going on? Do you have any idea? What they're really looking for are the scrapbooks I have. They want to know where they are, and they believe I'm hiding them. They must be thinking that they'll be able to hide the information in the scrapbooks forever if they succeed in shutting my mouth. But I couldn't tell Oishi about it yet. I answered his question by asking him a question. What about you, Oishi? Do you have any idea? I can't think of anything. No, I'm afraid I don't.
It's hard to believe that the Sonozaki Corps are using their resources to capture an individual like you. But it's true. It came from a reliable source.
It might be the Sonozaki family who are after me, not just the Sonozaki Corps.
It's very unusual when they take an action like this. They only do this when one of their people runs away from their money or something like that. It's usually about some kind of trouble within the group. They never done things like this to an honest person like you.
Well, I'm honored to be the very first one, but I need you to do something other than tell me that they've never done this before.
I understand, Ryu. Please calm down. Isn't it your turn to tell me something now?
What do you mean?
Like I said, the Sonozaki Corps don't take action like this often. They might be under some kind of misunderstanding, but still, it's very unusual that they would do something like this. Are you sure you have no idea? You could have gotten them confused about something about you without knowing it. My guess is you sniffed around the Sonozaki family and found out the secret of theirs, or they think you did. You can't lead them to mobilize like that by doing nothing. What you did must have been obvious to them. Are you sure you have no idea?
Is he my ally or my enemy? I still can't figure it out. This is it. Make your decision, Rugurena. Maybe they're after me because I have Mio's scrapbooks.
Mio? Takano Mio? Or scrapbooks? What do you mean?
If he was my enemy, he wouldn't be able to hide his excitement, but his voice remained steady. It didn't sound unusual when he said the word scrapbooks. Well, I met Mio at the library a few days ago before she was murdered. We talked and got along well, so she let me borrow some of her scrapbooks, which she wrote about in her studies.
Scrapbooks? Her studies?
Yes, Mio was studying the history of Hinamizawa. She summed up her findings in those scrapbooks. I think when they killed Mio, they found out some of her scrapbooks were missing, and she also gave them to me.
They're after the scrapbooks. Ryu, what in the world are you talking about?
She collected all her research about Hinamizawa and the ancient past of Ongabuchi into these scrapbooks. She wrote about the origin of Oyashiro's cult in them too.
The origin of the cult of Oyashiro? You mean the story about the man-eating demons?
Yes. In her research, she discovered a very important secret about Oyashiro. The secret was extremely blasphemous for the people who worshipped him.
I see. Those people, the most devout believers, couldn't accept the truth of her research.
Oishi was taking notes. I could hear him writing down something while he spoke.
They killed Mio, and they're trying to get her scrapbooks.
And they weren't sure that I had them, so they followed me to find out. I think they're changing their plans yesterday. They're now trying to kill anyone they think is suspicious.
I see. That doesn't sound good at all. I'm going to arrange a security detail for you, and let me take a look at the scrapbooks too. I might be able to find some clues about her murder.
No. I mean, they might have pawns inside the police force, so don't worry about me. I can look after myself. Same with the scrapbooks. They're going to try to destroy them, even if they were kept at the police station.
You may be right. The Sonozaki Corps is chasing after you because of the order from the head of the Sonozaki family. That means our enemy is the Sonozaki family itself. If so, I'm afraid I really can't guarantee that we don't have a traitor among us.
That's what I'm saying. Please don't worry about me. But I have a favor to ask you. It's very important.
Go ahead. What is it?
According to Mio's research, there's a horrifying conspiracy at work in the shadows of Hinamizawa. It's about to be carried out in the near future.
A conspiracy? What's this about?
I got tense all of a sudden. If I tell him everything, it's going to sound like a big lie. I should leave out the bizarre-sounding parts for now. It'd actually make the story more credible. Fanatical worshippers of Oyashiro are the ones behind the conspiracy. Since the Meiji era, the belief in Oyashiro has slowly disappeared. They're trying to revive the majesty of Oyashiro that the people of Onyofuji once worshipped.
Go on, I'm listening. I'm just writing this down.
According to Mio's research, the origin of Oyashiro's lies in the primitive endemic disease. People feared this endemic disease and called the curse of Oyashiro, and someone like a doctor treated the disease and was worshipped by the villagers as Oyashiro himself. The village was then under his control.
Oh, I see. That's interesting. Go on.
The endemic disease was caused by a parasite unique to this region, but it became weaker with every generation, and now it doesn't do any harm to the people as you can imagine. To them, a harmless endemic disease means no curse of Oyashiro. No curse means no savior. They can't keep the sanctity of Oyashiro like that.
And to revive the sanctity of Oyashiro means they have to revive the endemic disease, right?
That's right! They want to recreate their legend of Oyashiro in order to make Oyashiro a deity again. That's why they're trying to create the original parasite, because it can bring back more powerful strain of the endemic disease. The true intention of the series of mysterious deaths was to test the results of their research. And now that they finally succeeded in reenacting the maggot's disease with Tomitake, it took them 5 years, but they managed to bring the parasite back to its original power.
What the hell?
Their goal is to spread the parasite using the cure they developed to save only those people who live in Oyashiro and create for them a paradise.
Are you sure that's all true?
The scrapbooks say that most of the residents of Hinamiza are infected by the parasite. There's medical evidence of its existence too.
I can't believe it. Damn it, that hag Oreo is on the death's door already. And she can't just cross the Styx on her own? This is indiscriminate terrorism. What the hell?
The original parasite can only survive around Hinamiza. There's a high probability they improved it to be able to survive in a wider area. It's going to destroy not only Hinamiza, but also Okinomiya, or even the entire city, or the entire prefecture.
Damn it. What should we do? Who's behind all this?
It's the 3 families. Most likely the Sonozaki family's in charge, but I'm not sure if Oreo's the leader or not. I can only refer to them as they. I have no idea how far this thing reaches.
You know where they're doing all this research. I can shut it down.
I don't know. It's not in the scrapbooks either. Do you have any idea?
It must be a big facility to do that kind of research. You can use a garage for remodeling guns or something like that, but when it comes to parasites, I don't think that'd be enough.
Mio was a nurse at Irie Clinic. Do you think that could be it? I always thought it was a bit too big and fancy for a small village like Hinamizawa.
The Irie Clinic.
They need a specially designed facility. The immense airtight containment, along other considerations, might be able to do research on dangerous parasites like this one. It's easy to equate suspicious research with a clinic facility, but it also sounds too easy and a little cliche. At first I thought they could convert part of the clinic into a secret research center, but it actually sounds a little too unrealistic. Anyway, I don't know where it is, so please find that out. Can't you just raid any suspicious place at once?
As you know, we need a warrant for that kind of thing. There's a way I can get one, even after doing a raid, but I need conclusive evidence that it was actually research building in question in order to do that.
Oishi is a police officer. If he's going to work as a police officer, he has to follow their rules. But they really are planning bioterrorism! There has to be a way why they killed Mio so quickly. I think the reason is their day of revival isn't far off.
Okay, I understand. I'll try to do what I can. With an unthinkable plan like this, I'd have to imagine it'd be difficult to keep all the Sonozaki family members on their side. I'm sure there are some who are secretly against it. I'll try to make contact with those people. Don't worry, I'm very good at things like this.
Oishi laughed and tried to cheer me up. I was upset with the work of the police before, but Oishi's positive reaction is very reliable. He's what you might call an outlaw. Oishi's greatest advantage to me is he doesn't exactly play by the rules. It's very encouraging that he has that kind of skill, especially since we both have to act very quickly and without conclusive evidence. The police normally investigate incidents after they've happened, but that doesn't work in this case. If this incident actually does occur, it's going to be a big disaster. Mio exposed such a horrifying conspiracy. I'm scared.
She met with a very sad end. She was burned in the mountains of Gifu in a drum. I feel very sorry for her. Oh, right, I forgot to tell you something. We found something odd about her death.
Something odd?
Well, at first I thought it had something to do with the case. But after hearing your conspiracy story, it's going to sound like nothing. The crime lab probably just made a mistake.
Please tell me, I want to know. We promised to tell each other everything, didn't we?
I don't mean to hide it, it's just that it might sound like a silly horror story. Ryugu, do you remember the night at Watanagashi after the festival? You and the 4 of your friends talked to Tomitake and Takano, didn't you? He's gonna tell her the tip about how Mio was found dead for 24 hours and like the date of her death in the mountains doesn't line up in Watanagashi, okay? That's what he's gonna tell her. Remember? Because that's what he was like. That would mean she was already dead by the time you were talking to her in during Watanagashi. Like, as if she was the undead walking around during the festival. So, I was just pointing that out. I'm confused what that's supposed to mean. If she was found dead on the night of Watanagashi and she'd been dead for 24 hours, that means... okay, yeah, so we know that. So the Takano whom you saw that night was a zombie. I got you, didn't I? Maybe they must have made a mistake. I felt my brain freezing over. Oishi laughed, saying it sounded like a horror story from summer camp. But actually the fact that Mio's time of death was off. Back to her incredulous theories.
I hadn't mentioned this to Oishi or Keiichi, but if they did, they'd start to doubt everything else I'd said. That's how absolutely unbelievable this theory is. At any rate, the mismatch with the time of Mio's death means a lot. But irony. Mio came up with a theory and she proved it correct with her own life. No, not yet. This doesn't prove anything yet. If her theory is true, it might happen again. There's no way. It can't be true. I still can't believe it, but Oishi just said it. He said Mio was already night on the night of the festival. It means that Mio, who was talking arm in arm with Toby talking that night, wasn't Mio. Mio was already dead, so that wasn't her. That means she was... I felt a new sensation, one I never felt in my life before. It wasn't the ordinary kind of dread. It was the fear of the truth. No fear is worse than the fear of accepting a truth that you don't want to believe. Compared to this fear, the fear of being stalked by the Sonozaki family or being burned alive in an oil drum looks silly. That's how deep of a fear I felt. I felt it crawling all over my body.
Ryugu, please listen to me. I understand you don't trust the police. It's true the Sonozaki family has control over the entire city. There's some traitors at my station, too. But you're in danger. You can trust me. I want you to trust me as an individual person. I can provide shelter for you. It's a place nobody knows but me. But please trust me.
I don't doubt Oishi at this point. I actually think he's very reliable. I would have said yes without a second thought. But the situation has drastically changed. If Mio's death backs up this unbelievable truth, I trust Oishi. I believe he'll find the enemy and take them down, but I'd rather protect myself on my own than let somebody else do it. If the unbelievable truth is real, then I couldn't trust anybody except myself. No, even myself might appear before me too. Oishi, thank you so much. Anyway, please find the research center and put a stop to the conspiracy. I'm going to hide somewhere for a while. I'll call you again. I noticed I'd been on the phone for too long. I've been using the phone booth with a light on the middle of the darkness. In other words, I've been telling everybody I'm here.
Hello, she hung up.
Oishi wanted to talk more. He clicked his tongue and put the phone down. His junior Kuma guy rushed into the room. Oishi, it's getting really bad now. It's Tatsuyoshi Kasai who gave the Sonozaki Coast the order to find Ryugu Rena.
Kasai? Sonozaki Akane's right man?
Tatsuyoshi Kasai was a really high-ranking big shot, even among the boss's younger brothers. He used to be the boss of a subordinate branch, but after suffering a bad injury during the game war, he stepped down, and now he served as the boss's aide. Sonozaki Akane relies heavily on him, and as her right-hand man, he's still feared even now. When Kasai moves, the other gangs consider it as a declaration of war. They fear him very much. He's a warrior among warriors. He's been lying low these days, but he's led countless number of gang wars. He's also the leader of a professional attack squadron that led to the U.S. to receive military training during the dam conflict. They were crazy enough to think of the attack Ministry of Construction for real.
It looks like it's causing quite an uproar among our informants.
They're saying that Ryugu Rena must have found some information and it's very inconvenient for the Sonozaki Corps.
I'm impressed at how to the point our informants actually are. Still, this is getting serious.
Sato thinks it's a tape audio on their Ministry of Construction recorded during their secret negotiations. If that's true, it's going to cause quite a few deaths.
This is more serious than that, Oishi thought. If her story is true, this is a massive conspiracy. It's going to cause more than quite a few deaths. It might destroy the entire village, or even the entire prefecture. This is going to be the biggest terrorist strike in history. Ryugu Rena is in danger. Kuma, arrange an unmarked patrol car to keep watch on her house. As of today, we're going to put Ryugu Rena under protection. She's convinced she's being threatened by a gang. I'll talk to the section manager later. Well, actually, Ryugu Rena seems to have run away from home. A police officer confirmed a lot of money disappeared from her father's cash box. It sounds like she took it and ran away. I also had a call about the car belonging to the Sonozaki Corps parked in front of her house, too. What? Why didn't you tell me that sooner? Ryugu Rena's in great danger. She wasn't calling me from her house then. We need to find her right away. Give me a car. Arrest the people parked in front of her house. And get some guys over there. They're coming with me. Yes, sir!
What? Rena wasn't at home? It's pretty late.
Yes. I waited in front of her house for a while, but she didn't come home.
Maybe she's at a friend's place. She might be at Sis's house with her other friends at their club activities or whatever. Shion was lying down on the sofa, picturing her sister and her friends fooling around, playing games like they always did.
I thought so too, but I stopped by Mion's house. Rena wasn't there either. Mion was worried about her too.
Oh, really? Well, I wonder what happened to her.
She might have been caught by some hoodlum, though that would be unusual. I already told my staff to look for her just in case.
I don't think that's what happened. She's not as weak as she looks.
Anyway, why did she want to come see me? Kasai took off his jacket. Shion told him only to see Rena because she heard Rena had requested to see him in person.
Oh, I thought I told you. She said she found something you lost. Rena wanted to give it back to you in person. Hey, I guess she likes you or something.
Oh, please. Anyway, I hope she's alright.
Right then, the phone rang. Kasai answered it while loosening his tie.
Yes, I understand at once. Kasai sounded serious. Shion immediately figured out who he's talking to.
Who was it? Was it my father?
Yes. The Sonozaki family has sent out an order to find Rena right away and bring her to the main house.
You mean Oreo gave that order? I wonder what Rena did. Will she have to peel off her own fingernails? I hope Oreo goes easy on her. Poor girl. Rena hasn't come home yet? No, I heard that Rena ran away from home and she's hiding somewhere. Hiding somewhere? What do you mean? Also, I just got this information. It seems the police are looking for her. What? An unmarked patrol car is watching her house right now. It seems there are several patrol cars looking around for her in the village. Uncle Kimiyoshi received a call from the police too. He was told to use the town network to find out if anybody knows where she is. Do you think they found the corpses we hid? We hid them deep in the mountains. They couldn't have found them that easily. No, it's 100% impossible. I guarantee you that. Wow, how can you be so sure? Well, to tell you the truth, I let the Sonozaki family take care of them. They moved the bags to the secret place. Okay, now here it is. This is your answer for Tatarigoroshi-hen. What happened to the bodies that Keiichi had buried? You know, Teppei? Mion had anticipated it because of the phone call that she had last year. And that's why the body was missing. Keiichi thought that he failed to kill Teppei. Nah, Keiichi was just going through what Rena's going through. Okay? There you go. Secret place? Calm down. Don't worry about it. I heard there's a major lodging project happening in the summer on the mountain where we hid the corpses. So I arranged them to help them take care of it. I see. You're a very reliable person when you're on my side. It seems like you'd be a scary person to have as an enemy. I recommend you never underestimate me. So it's not the corpses they're after. Then why are the police trying to find her? I don't know. It seems like many gang members knew that Hojo Teppei and Mamiya Rina were trying to blackmail the Rugu family. So that might be the reason why the police are after Rena. I don't think they consider her a suspect yet. But they probably want her as a material witness. That's the same thing! Damn it! Rena finally regained her peaceful life. I'm not going to let them ruin it! Mio, we need to help her! Of course! I already told my family Okinomiya to find her before the police can. You can trust the Sonozaki family. They can protect her, the police. 100% guaranteed. 120%. I'm sorry, I messed up. But just finding her first isn't going to solve the problem. We have to do something to clear her suspicion. I'll think after we found her. After that. And we'll make any alibis that she needs, as many witnesses for the alibis as necessary. We're very good lawyers, too. We'll never abandon our friends when they're in trouble. Haha. They made up alibis. In other words, remember Watanagashi and Tatarigoroshi? Also, this also answers some of the things that happened in Tatarigoroshi, which means that Keiichi could not discern that his friends were lying to him the whole time. That he actually wasn't at the festival. He just couldn't discern. And as you've seen, that Rena is gonna she's gonna take it, everything as like the truth. Okay, she's not going to see it. She's gonna take it like Keiichi did. Like something completely wrong. Because Keiichi took it like a doppelganger. Okay? You get it? I mean, that should be an obvious conclusion anyway. That's right, we can save Rena! Damn it, I wish I could do more than depend on you, Mion. Well, don't worry about it. It's okay to let someone else handle the situation when that person is better at it. This old man will take care of everything. Also, I'll create an alibi to fool the cops while watching the whole village. We'll say that Rena was spotted near Gogura. See? There! The water search area, the fewer policemen in one place. I see, that's a great idea. This is like nothing to us. We did more during the dam conflict. I'll protect Rena and Kei-chan. Rena trusts you more than anybody, so she might come to you. If she does, please protect her. And give me a call right away. Yeah, will do. Rena's a strong girl. She should be fine. She should overcome this. Yeah, I think so too. I hesitated to say something. Rena hadn't been her normal self lately. If she was her normal self, I no doubt she can overcome this. But Rena's deeply convinced that Takano's delusions are true. Rena believes the Sonozaki family is behind the conspiracy. I'm not sure she trusts the Sonozaki family to protect her. Don't worry, I'm her friend too. She'll understand once I sit down and talk to her, just like Kei-chan and I cleared up our misunderstanding. I can do that with her. I still can't believe that you believe such a crazy story, though. Well, I can't believe I did either. This is gonna be the most embarrassing thing that ever happened in my life. I was really deeply convinced until I talked to Mion. Even after the promise of friendship we made, I doubted her. Takano was endowed with magic, and I think the scrapbooks she wrote also carried a spell. The scrapbooks can make people go mad. They're forbidden scrapbooks. Nobody was supposed to read them. Ren is captivated by the power of that magic, even after Takano's death. I have to wake her up. I got a very bad feeling about it. In other words, her scrapbooks mislead people. Which, what I say, Takano's scrapbooks to me are not very interesting. I've never found them very interesting in the first place because I wasn't interested in the curse. Oh, I'm sorry. Someone's at the door. It might be the police. I have to go now. Okay. I'll tell them that Rena's hiding near Gogura. If they ask you something, just keep telling them you don't know anything. Okay, got it. Mio waited for my answer and hung up the phone. After she hung up, I started to feel like Rena was being consumed by some huge, unthinkable fate. It's not only the police I'm worried about. I'm also worried because Rena's ensnared by the power of Takano's magic. I fear she might be suffering from incredible anxiety. Oh, right. Rena might be hiding in her secret base in the garbage dump. Rena once told me she used to spend time there when Rina was at her house. She told me she had the scrapbooks there, too. If she's hiding there, she must be hungry by now. I should bring her something to eat. I went to the kitchen to look for some junk food. My mother looked confused. Mom! I'm gonna go somewhere, but I'll be right back. At this time? It's late. It's very important. I promise I'll be right back. And if Rena comes here while I'm gone, let her stay in my room. And if someone calls, ask if you know where she is. And just tell them you don't know anything up, okay? My mom looked angry that I was leaving the house at so late an hour, but I rushed out of the house before she could say anything. I grabbed a flashlight from the wall of the garage, got on my bicycle, and sped off into the darkness. The moon looked beautiful, but in a creepy way. I feel like something terrible is about to happen. I don't know what it is, but I know it's coming. Something's going to happen. The moon, seemingly knowing just what that something will be, looked like it was laughing at us, pacing back and forth in confusion. Damn it! Laugh all you want! Laugh at this funny story as much as you want! I'm not going to laugh! I'm going to fight! I'm going to smash through whatever fate is waiting for us! Rena, I hope you're there! Maybe my bicycle needs some oil. It was making a lousy noise as I pedaled. Damn it. Even my bicycle's laughing at us! Finally, something interesting. I mean, this chapter is more interesting than the last two for me. That's why I wasn't very invested. Also, my throat was dry yesterday, which is why I didn't do very well, unfortunately. So I'm gonna keep reading because I love everything that happens in the other chapters. So we're gonna keep going. I just have to set up some things because there might be some yelling and stuff. Okay. Just give me a moment. I gotta. Even if I turned the light on in my hideout, nobody would see it because of the piles of abandoned cars in the way. While I'm aware of that, I decided not to turn it on just in case. It's a bit scary to hide in this quiet place alone in the dark, holding my breath. I'd have to keep myself busy with something. But my brain won't work properly. I don't even have the energy to think about what to do from now on. However, I don't have the courage to lie down to sleep and regain my strength either. Every time I heard or thought I heard a suspicious sound, I gasped and stared into the dark. That's all I did all night. Oishi believes the Sonozaki family was behind the conspiracy, but he can't do much without solid evidence. For that, he has to locate the facility where they're doing the research on the parasite. But we have no idea where it is. I think the Irie clinic is still the most likely site, but I still have no credible evidence. Really, I don't think they do their research in a place so obvious even I could guess it. They might be using one of the bomb shelters that was built during the war as some kind of secret underground research center. Now that I've come to think about it, I remember a secret building no one is allowed on the premises of the Furude Shrine. I think it's called the Ritual Storehouse. According to Mia's research, the Furude Shrine is the center of the local worship of Oyashiro. The priest keeps the tools for ceremonies in the Ritual Storehouse. One of the ceremonies is the bizarre festival Watanagashi. The shrine store is supposed to be something very sacred. If I remember right, Watanagashi was also a medical ritual designed to vaccinate and immunize people against the all-too-strong parasites. That means the tools they used for Watanagashi were medical ones. If my guess is right, the Ritual Storehouse is the most sacred place in the village, as well as the most appropriate building to use for medical purposes. It's suspicious. There might be some secret research center in the Ritual Storehouse. Damn it! The police should be performing a raid on the Ritual Storehouse, not the Irie Clinic. Why didn't I think of that when I was talking to Oishi on the phone earlier? I hope Oishi realizes this too. I should go back to the phone booth and tell him about this Ritual Storehouse, maybe. But when I thought about that, I heard a car coming closer and I held my breath. It's not normal for a car to come here late at this night. I thought about the many possible scary scenarios which made me nervous. After a while, I saw the headlights of a car near the former dam construction office. The car must have passed by me and gone to the office, but it's a deserted, empty office building. There's nothing there. It's not a place where people would visit this late at night. While I was staring into the dark, the engine of the car stopped. Its headlights were off. I could see 2 flashlights flickering in the darkness. The lights moved to the office building. They must think I'm hiding there. I held my breath and kept on watching their movements. I can't tell who they are, but I bet they're pawns of the Sonozaki family. They know I ran away from home. They must be looking for me everywhere in the village. I thought I needed to conceal my breath. My face started to feel itchy. I had an urge to stretch my legs. My own body infuriated me. The humidity made me sweat all over. The back of my knees and my neck had been itchy for quite a while. Scratching would make an unbelievably loud noise, so I decided not to scratch anymore. It usually doesn't make any noise when I just scratch some mosquito bites. I'm probably just being nervous and overreacting. There's quite the distance between me and them, and I'm in the dark, holding my breath. They wouldn't notice even if I sneezed, let alone scratch myself, but I didn't want to make any noise at all. I tried to forget the itchiness, but after all that, I ended up scratching everywhere like mad. I have to live hiding like this for a while. I don't know how long I can go on when I'm so nervous on just the first night. I need to toughen up more so I can remain placid, even in a situation like this. I forced myself to relax. I scratched my neck without hesitation and tried to cope with the sticky sweat all over my body. I started getting hungry. My stomach growled. That's a good sign, though. It means I'm starting to relax. I can't eat yet, though. It'd make a lot of noise. I decided to wait until they finished looking for me and went away. Go away. Go away. I can eat if you go away. It seemed like the intentions I was sending out bore fruit. They stopped looking around the building. However, I must have concentrated my thoughts too strongly. They were pointing their flashlights in my direction. Did they notice me? No. Not only that, they were walking toward me. I made my body as small as possible, hid under the blanket, and listened for their footsteps as carefully as I could. All the while, I heard their footsteps coming closer and closer. Since the footsteps are coming straight for me, they must already know where I am. I think it's scary, but there's no way they know where I am. If they did, they wouldn't have wasted their time looking around for the office building. They wouldn't have walked as slowly as they did. It's just a coincidence they're walking in this direction. Since I'm hiding under the blanket, I can't see who they are. I don't know where they're shining their flashlights. I can't stick my head out of the window to see who they are either. I just have to stay motionless, like a rock, until I sense they're gone. They stopped when they came near my hideout. I could hear their conversation. I don't think she's here. Let's look somewhere else. You look over there. I could tell by the sound of their footsteps they went their separate ways, and each of them is walking around the piles of the trash separately. I made this place a hideout of an abandoned car. I just redecorated it. So the outside still looks like nothing other than an abandoned car, but once you look inside, you can instantly tell it's more than that. So if they look inside, I'm done for. It's obvious they're looking for me. Are they the Sonozaki Corps attack unit? If they find me, I'll be killed for sure. I know all too well this place is perfect for murdering people. I killed 2 people here myself. If I can do it, there'd be no problem for them because they're real professional killers. Even so, there's nothing I can do right now. I just have to pray they'll leave here soon. At the time, I heard a slight beeping sound. I can hear you loud and clear. Yes. Gogora, yes, understood. What's wrong? It seems like Rugurena's in Gogora. Somebody saw her there. Oh man, that's it. We'll never find her now. What are we gonna do now?
It's an order. We have to find her no matter what. We have to bring her to him. It doesn't matter if she's in supper or Hakata. We have to find her. It'd be impossible to find her, though. Do we still have to look? Rugurena has talking to Mio's scrapbooks and he wants them. He's still pretty upset about it, so I'm sure they're worth a lot. So what are we going to do? It seems like he called the others, except the ones who were watching her house. So we should go back to the office. Let's have some barley tea or something. I heard their footsteps going further, and I didn't hear them anymore. After a while, I heard the engine of the car starting. I finally got out from under the blanket and looked outside the window. The car made a U-turn and drove away. The sound of the engine faded away into the darkness. I heaved a sigh of relief. I scratched at all the itchy mosquito bites, wiped the sticky sweat off my face and neck, and finally allowed myself to cough. I heard the conversation clearly. They're the pawns of the Sonozaki corpse without a doubt. It matches what Oishi told me. They said something very important. They clearly said they're after the scrapbooks. Up until now, I only assumed that they were chasing after me because I had Mio's scrapbooks. I could have forced myself to believe that it was just my assumption, but they said it loud and clear. We need to find Rugurena. She has Mio Takano's scrapbooks. That's what they said. They also said they're keeping watch on my house. I'm not surprised. That's exactly what I would do if I were them. I can't go back to my house anymore. It's out of the question. But in fact, they said something way more important than any of that. They said Rugurena was seen in Gogora. If I was in a normal situation, I'd probably think that somebody saw a lookalike and I'd laugh out loud. But the situation's different now. Mio was dead, but she was at the festival. I'm here, but I was in Gogora. Mio wrote about it in her scrapbooks, and I didn't want to believe it. They're coming closer to me. I don't mean the Sonozaki family. Something beyond common sense is about to happen. Should I fire or should I run? I don't even know what I should do. I feel like I'm being rude to the spot with fear. Am I about to be eaten? No, no, no! I don't want to be eaten alive. I want to run away if I can't win. If I can't run, I want to fight. I'm going to be happy. I know I am. I'm not going to sit pretty and let them get me. But the enemy Mio foretold in the scrapbooks is coming closer to me. It's trying to eat me up. I'm the garbage dump alone. If I disappeared right now without anybody knowing it, the person who was in Gogora would replace me and start living my life. Nobody would notice the change. My father wouldn't notice it. My friends wouldn't notice it. It would replace me without having anyone notice it. Wait. Many people close to me might have been replaced already. That's right. The Sonozaki family is planning bioterrorism. That's only part of what they are planning. Mice possessed by them don't get scared of cats. As a result, they don't run away. They'll be eaten by the cats, and they can move into the cats' bodies. Mice are only used by them for that purpose. It's not that they lose their fear of cats in order to help them achieve their purpose. The same thing goes with the Sonozaki family. They think they're doing these things by their own will, but they're just helping them without realizing it. That's exactly how they lived since long ago, being the parasite. We're nothing but a bunch of mice to them. Most mice are stupid. They don't even notice their existence. They help them to achieve their purpose, thinking that they're living their lives by their own will. But very rarely a mouse with wits is born. This mouse notices he's being used, and he also notices their existence. But nobody believes him, so it's not a big deal. He starts thinking it was his mistake. He gets swallowed by them. Eventually he disappears. But even more rarely, a mouse appears out of nowhere and notices their existence, and objectively proves it. That mouse was Mio. To them, this mouse was a rare and a very dangerous existence. That's why they resorted to unbelievably bold and violent methods to try and eliminate that mouse when it appeared. But surprisingly, they knew about those measures. But the stupid mice don't believe it. They don't notice it until they're forcing them not to believe it, and they're helping them in the end. They killed Mio. And they tried to replace her. But they made a mistake. They found the real corpse of Mio. That's why they failed to replace her. They'll try to kill me and replace me too. Or they'll replace my friends in order to get close to me. They'll look just like real people, but they're totally different inside. They're an abnormal existence of beyond our imagination. I know they'll appear. No, they're already here. It appeared the day after Mio died. It appeared in Gogora tonight. They'll keep coming. They're openly coming after me now. They'll keep coming. They'll keep coming. Right then, I heard somebody coming down the slope. I concealed my presence again. I looked in the direction where the footsteps were coming from. I could see one more flashlight. It looked like there was only one person now. Who is it? This late at night. Its shadow was very small. I can tell it isn't an adult. I sense a chill running through my body. It shined the flashlight toward my hideout, and its footsteps are coming straight toward me.
It's different from the other guys earlier. I can tell by the sound of the footstep that it knows I'm hiding here for sure. No, it must just be coincidence. I should just conceal myself again. I can make it through this again. I made it through last time. I need to hide. I need to hide! I pulled the blanket over myself and made myself as small as possible. I kept telling myself I was a stone, but the footsteps kept coming closer and closer, and it knocked on the door of my hideout. I opened my eyes wide. I broke out in a nervous sweat, not wanting to believe the sound I heard was a knock. My mind went completely blank. But it knocked on the door again. I could feel a light shining on the blanket. It might be shining the flashlight on me. I still held back my fear. As long as I don't move, it can't put a finger on me. I kept telling myself, as if I was casting a spell, I tried not to shake in fear. It laughed. It laughed at me because I thought I was hiding perfectly. But I still tried, because if I got out of the blanket... What are you scared of? I threw off the blanket and saw the owner of the voice. It is Rika. Now, why is she here? Why is she come here to see me? I don't understand why she came all the way out here alone at this late at night. I realized all of a sudden. She looks just like Rika on the outside, but she's not her. It is just copying her appearance. It came to me and to Rika. I decided to talk aggressively on purpose in order to work up courage before my fear crushed me down. Is that you, Rika?
Me? Who else do I look like?
It answers just like the Rika I know, but I know it's not Rika. Rika wouldn't come to a place like this so late at night. I know who you are. I know you're not Rika. I'm afraid you can't deceive me like you can the others. Even though you look just like her, I know you're not Rika. You're not my friend, Furude Rika. Who are you? Rika looked stunned for a while. She looked as if she didn't understand what I was talking about. But she pretended like that for too long. If she really didn't know what I was talking about, she wouldn't be able to stand the silence for this long, but she kept quiet. And she finally showed her true character. It laughed. It laughed at me because I figured out something that was almost impossible to figure out. That it was not Rika. Who are you? It didn't answer my question. It kept laughing for a while. And then it looked straight into my eyes in a way Rika never did before. And it said this. I've lived for quite a long time. But you're the first who penetrated my disguise. I always thought you had good intuition, but you're pretty good. She clearly spoke to me the things that I was most afraid of. I was completely shocked. It was like she told me everything that could possibly scare me. I didn't want to hear any of this. It's something I can't possibly twist in a way I can comprehend. Let's just say I'm Rika for now. It's been a while since I started to call myself that. Oh, really? It's been a while, huh? Like how long? Not that long. It's only been about 100 years. What? What are you talking about? I'm contradicting myself. I know the person who's standing in front of me isn't Rika, but at the same time I deny its existence. As long as humans hold this kind of emotion, they can never accept the unknown existences. In other words, we can never accept them. You don't have to be scared. You're in the car. I'm outside of it. It's not easy for either of us to do something to the other. I think this is a perfect distance between us. No matter how long I've lived, Furude Rika is still just a little kid. You're still stronger than me. I should be more careful than you, because you could snap and jump on me anytime. I realized this creepy thing that looks just like Rika was only here to talk to me. I felt my tension fade away a little bit. But still, I don't know what she wants to talk to me about at a place like this so late at night. I'm like a fish on the cutting board. There's nothing I can do other than wait to see what's going to happen. I waited for it to make a move for a while, and then it opened its mouth again. You're afraid of something. Am I right? It uses sarcasm. Rika's cute face looked uglier than ever when it smiled. I held back my fear and tried to reply firmly. Yes, thanks to you. So, What are you afraid of? You should know that better than anybody else! It told me earlier that we were safe from each other because the one was in the car and the other was standing outside. But it's obvious I'm the one who's being driven to a corner while I'm talking to it. I could be surrounded by its minions. I got scared and tried to listen to the sounds of my surroundings carefully. Don't be scared. I came here to help you. You came here to help me? Oh, really? I wonder how you're going to do that. You're just sick at the moment. You need medicine, that's all. Would you be interested if I told you I brought it along? Medicine? It put its hand in its pocket. It took out a small case. It opened the case and showed me what was inside. What was in that made me gasp in surprise. A syringe? It's not normal for a person to carry a syringe. I have no idea what's going on, but what Rika's holding out in her hand is a syringe. There's no way I can twist that fact around. That's right. The contents of the syringe are going to help you get better. It'll help me get better, huh? I know what it is. It's that drug that killed Tomitake. It's a parasite at its full strength. It'll give me that maggot disease. This is a different drug from the one that was used on Tomitake. I promise. It giggled. It isn't the giggling that scares me. I'm scared that it admitted the cause of Tomitake's death so easily. It also admitted the direct cause of the maggot disease that Tomitake died from. I know you're gonna kill me the same way he died, and that the renowned Gogoro is going to replace me. Problem solved, right? I'm not going to let you give me that shot! Well, I knew you would say that. This syringe looks very suspicious, of course. You're smarter than I thought. So what now? Are you going to gang up on me and give me the shot like you did to Tomitake? Tomitake's autopsy report said he had bruises on his body and proved he was fighting against several people right before he died. That means they must have ganged up on him to give him the shot against his own will. I'd like to give you the injection by force, but it never really works, so I gave up on doing that. I decided to let you choose to take it yourself. Are you kidding me? I don't want to take that creepy shot! I've thought about it many times. I thought about how I could make you take the injection. I can't force you to take it. I can't make you agree to take it either. Then, it leaves me only one choice. I have to let you choose to take it. You should know my answer already! I'm not going to walk in such an obvious trap! Well, that's what I thought you'd say. I didn't expect you to choose to take it anyway. It heaved a sigh and made a gesture as if it mocked me, and it smiled bitterly. It looked as if it was trying to say something like I'm a lower animal that I can't understand that's being given a chance for salvation. I want to kind of say I'll take the shot on a dare, but I know it's exactly what it's intending to do. Go back to your home and tell your friends that you failed to give me the shot. I'm not going to let you beat me. I'm going to fight till the end, and I'm going to seize that 1% chance of winning. I'm going to destroy all of you! I see. Then, you should try to do that. This world is going to end soon anyway. End soon? It has nothing to do with you. A frog sitting in the well doesn't need to have any interest in the world outside, does it? At the stage of the game, it said something very dubious. I tried hard to understand what this horrifying creature was trying to say. What are you going to do to me? Nothing. Do whatever you want. What? It's almost too easy. As far as I know, do whatever you want means ignorance or release when your enemy says it to you. At least, it isn't a bad thing. Or does it have another meaning? In that way, I overinterpret the meaning of the sentence, but then it said it again. Do whatever you want. I'm not interested in this Ryugu Rena anymore. I'm going to try to get along with the next Ryugu Rena. I have to pray the next Ryugu Rena doesn't have such good intuition. I was scared of it, like I'd be scared of a judge handing down a death sentence. I used to try very hard to fix things every time a little problem occurred, but I got tired of it. I'm not interested in this Hinamizawa anymore. I'm going to find the next Hinamizawa, but you only have this one. So I hope you live the best you can. It was telling me very scary things one after another. This is obviously a warning of Hinamizawa's destruction, because its climax is coming soon. They already have prepared another Rena. When I lose to this fate, they're going to replace me with that Rena as if nothing happened. They're very well organized. What humans are afraid of the most is their lives to lose all its value. Their life becomes worthless when you're told that you have become a replacement. It's like an indirect death sentence. It closed the syringe case and put it back into its pocket. It turned around and started climbing up the slope. At the top, it looked back and spoke without as much as an evil smile. Well, goodbye, this Ryugu Rena. I hope I can get along with the next Ryugu Rena. I shouldn't worry, because I usually do get along with them. I'm not going to let you replace me with the next Ryugu Rena! I'm the only Ryugu Rena! I'm not going to let you do it! Never! Ever! I wonder if my scream was reaching it. It looked at me coldly. It looked at me as if I was just an image of the past on the TV screen. It's fun to have a conversation like this every once in a while. Huh? That laughter gradually disappeared into the darkness. It disappeared into the darkness as well. I was the only one left there. I'm forsaken, and they don't care if I disappear. They told me I should struggle as much as I want because it doesn't matter anyway. They already have a replacement. They don't need me in their Hinamizawa anymore because my intuition is too sharp. When I realized that, I noticed this garbage dump is a perfect grave for me. And I realized this place wouldn't work as a hideout anymore. I better start packing and move somewhere else. It told me to struggle as much as I want. I'm going to do just that, damn it! Damn it! I have to get ready to move out from here. I'm going to put everything back into my backpack. I have to leave here as soon as possible. The light of the flashlight wasn't enough to see by, so I turned the table light on. Alright, I want you to think about this. So, remember, Rika did this in Mikashi, with Shion as well. So, that should say everything. And we know that, but we already know from episode 4 that this isn't actually, that Rena is seriously misunderstanding things. Okay? Anyway, I just wanted to point that out, even just as clarification. Even if it's already obvious that Rena's not doing well. I know, but yeah. Anyway, sorry, just give me a moment. I know, I can kind of reiterate the same point. But, okay, some people still think that Shion is just like whatever. So sometimes I have to reiterate. Some people are like that, even though some people don't get the point. Even if they're determined to misunderstand parts of Higurashi. I know, I can't help but do it. Anyway. The light made things show up very clearly. When I reached my backpack, I realized something and I gasped in surprise. Oh, sorry. The palm of my hand was covered with an eerie liquid. I thought I wiped off my sticky sweat earlier, but it wasn't my sweat. Where did this blood come from? I realized it right away. I was scratching the mosquito bites on my neck earlier, and I scratched them until it bled. When I noticed that, I remembered the sensation of the mixture of pain and itchiness. I felt something moving near the wound on my neck. I scratched it again and again to get rid of whatever it was. My hand got sticky and wet with blood again. I can't see the things they are, but I don't have a mirror, but I know. They're already spraying throughout my entire body, causing the itchiness on my arms and the back of my knees. But I never experienced this before. I think I got bitten by a bad bug or something. But unfortunately, I already know what's causing this itchiness. Why? Why? I said it with hatred. Why now? Why here? The maggot disease without a doubt. If I cut the veins on my arms, the dusky red gross things would flow out. It's impossible. I didn't get any suspicious shots. This doesn't have to be a shot. They might have put the drug in my food, or I might have eaten it without noticing. I don't think they put it in my food in my house, but I used to share lunch with my friends at school. They might have put it in the lunches. That Rika who visited me earlier was just shining a flashlight on me. She knew I was scratching my neck so hard it bled. Nevertheless, she acted like nothing was wrong, and she told me I wouldn't last long. Now I know why she was laughing at me in the sarcastic way. She knew I wouldn't have much time left. It itches very badly, but I can't scratch. The more I scratch, the itchier it gets. I'm not going to do the same thing Tomitake did. Damn it, damn it, damn it! The itchiness might not be temporary. It might actually get worse. I don't know if it's going to stop soon, if it's going to last until I die from it. I don't know anything anymore. I just have to endure the itchiness. I wipe the blood on my neck with a towel and clench my teeth and try to erase the desire to scratch my neck. The wound was throbbing. I wanted to scratch it so badly, but I couldn't do that. I fought back the desire by the end of the towel. I scratched the other parts of my body really hard in order to forget about the itchiness in my neck, but it didn't really work. I just prayed for the itchiness to go away and closed my eyes and fought back the desire. That seemed to be the best way. I let my mind go blank, breathing hard for a while. It felt like the itchiness got a little better. I took a deep breath and immediately started panicking. Staying here is more dangerous than the itchiness. I have to leave here as soon as possible. I felt it while packing my stuff. I felt the end coming closer, the end that Rika told me about earlier. I assumed I could live until the end, but I might have been wrong. I might follow the same path Tomitake took, way before the end comes. I was sweating like crazy and it felt so nasty. I know it's not sweat, but it's going to think it's sweat for now. I wiped my neck with a towel and hurried to leave. This area has no streetlights, so I was scared to run fast when I could barely see. The moon lit up the sky, but not my steps. The only light I had to see was my flashlight. The light was very weak, and all I could see was the flat gravel before me. Anything the flashlight couldn't reach was in total darkness. The expression often used in novels, pitch black, would be inappropriate. I might trip over an empty can or rock any time, not wanting to fall. I used the flashlight to its maximum extent to watch my step, but I was still a bit nervous. I started running slower and slower until I was just walking briskly. Did I just stop running because I was afraid of tripping in the dark? I usually run around without watching my step during the day. I run around with Rena and Mio all the time. Even if I can see what's underfoot, I don't pay any attention. I don't think I might trip. I just keep running around without I care. Rena might be feeling the same way I am right now. But Rena, the light which she illuminates the darkness of suspicion is too weak. The darkness is a delusion she deeply believes in is getting darker and darker. That's why she's scared to even walk on the same road she always used to take. She fell for the contents of those ridiculous scrapbooks. People might laugh at her for that, but those scrapbooks aren't normal. They manipulate their readers' hearts with their evil intent and take advantage of their vulnerable abilities. That evil intent captured my heart for one night. That's why I know how evil they are. They're just urban legends like the prophecies of Nostradamus or the Purple Mirror. They're a bunch of feasible lies when you hear about them at first. You think they're too stupid to believe, but once you fall for them, it's hard to get them out of your mind for some reason. It'd be like the year 1999 in less than 20 years. Everybody knows about the prophecy that the world will come to the end of July of 1999, but there's even some TV shows about it too, which is irresponsibly fanning people's fears, so some people take it seriously. Those people think the prophecy means the outbreak of nuclear war, so some of them are making shelters in their backyards. Some of them are thinking about freezing themselves by 1999 so they won't be exposed to radiation, only to wake up after it's gone. Those people are completely serious about it. When you think about it rationally, it's impossible that there will be an outbreak of nuclear war in 1989. It's true the Cold War makes us think the final war will break out at any time, but both powers are actually pointing their nuclear missiles at each other. They know there's nothing to gain from either of them to start a nuclear war. The Soviets still might do it. The Soviets might destroy the world, but it meant eradicating liberalism. But that delusion, the Soviets might do it, neatly swapped away for Takano's uses the Sonozaki family and her scrapbooks. When people create a large-scale delusion like the prophecies above, they always use an incomprehensibly unknown enemy such as the Soviet Union, Nazi Germany, or aliens. And they say something like, you never know, they might do things like that. They try to increase the credibility of their delusions without any evidence whatsoever. What did Takano know about the Sonozaki family? Nothing! All she did was use the history of Onikafuji and say that the Sonozaki family is still working behind the scenes, plotting a horrifying conspiracy. It's just like one of those large-scale prophecies. It's nothing but a stupid story like that one about Nazi Germany, which says that Hitler's still alive and lives somewhere in the underground complex in the South Pole, continuing his plot to conquer the world. Rena usually doesn't believe in stupid stories like that, but it was just bad timing, I suppose. It was right after she killed Mamiya Rina and Hojo Tepe and was caught by us. She was in a state of panic when she heard the story. We were waiting for her to recover from the shock. But before she did and regained her strength and heart, a poison got into her and spread throughout all her body. When you're sick and have a weakened immune system, it's easy to get another disease. It's just like that. That's it. Rena's just sick right now. When you're very sick in bed with a high fever, you sometimes feel like you might die from it. But most of the time you're just overreacting. You might get better soon after you take a medicine, eat healthy food, and sleep a lot. That's how she is right now. She caught a mental cold, that's all. She needs to get better soon, or she might get caught by the police. I passed several patrol cars on my way. I hid every time I saw one since I didn't want to be questioned. I probably passed by it twice. I came closer to Rena's house. I saw a car parked near the gate. It was obviously watching her house, trying to capture her when she arrived home. Mio or the Sonosaki family find Rena to protect her from the police, but honestly, I'm not sure if they can. After all, Rena believes the Sonosaki family's after her. But if they don't find her, the police will eventually. If that happens, all of us who helped her bury the corpses will be caught by the police in the end. I don't know how or why the police came to suspect her. I think they only have some circumstantial evidence. I don't think they know why she did it for sure, but since they're looking everywhere for her now, they must have some kind of reliable evidence. Rena, come on! You don't have time to play around with talking to scrapbooks right now! The police are after you! It was so dark, I couldn't be sure if she was down there, but I made up my mind and headed down the slope, carefully shining my flashlight to light my way. I wanted to loudly call out Rena's name, but there might be some policemen nearby looking for her. I walked around the trash pile and I saw the light. It was Rena. I ran toward her hideout, kicking aside the trash in my way. Rena was standing right in front of her hideout, holding a hatchet. I couldn't blame her. She must have noticed all the noise I came down the slope. Rena! It's me!
Keiichi. I sure have a lot of visitors tonight.
Who else is here? I showed my flashlight around, but I didn't see anybody else.
I'm leaving because it's not safe here anymore. I don't want you to know where I'm going, so please don't follow me.
Rena! What happened to your neck? You're bleeding!
I'm okay. They might come back again, though.
Rena's neck was all red. It looked like she had some kind of skin disease on her neck. She probably couldn't bear the itchiness and scratched at it really hard. You need to do more than just wipe it with a towel. Come to my house. You need to clean it up.
Don't worry about it. It isn't an injury. It's too late anyway.
Too late? What do you mean? They must have put the drug in my food without me realizing it. It's a drug that killed Tomitake. They probably used a syringe to inject him with a drug, but they changed their methods this time. I think they put it in someone's lunch. You remember Michan gave out a piece of her omelet to everybody the other day at lunch, don't you? She must have put it in the omelet. She's smart. She used a slow-acting drug this time. Damn it! Rena kicked the dirt with hatred. She was almost literally kicking Mion's goodwill to the curb. Hey, Rena. Are you seriously saying that Mio would do such a thing? Rena looked stunned and she stared straight at me. I noticed a slight accusation in her eyes. I could tell by looking into her eyes what she wants to say. What are you talking about? I already told you the Sonosaki family is the mastermind behind the conspiracy. First of all, Mio didn't give out her omelet to everybody that day. Mio cut her omelet into 5 pieces. She told us to take one if we wanted. Rena took the end of the omelet before anybody else took one. She said it looked cute and ate one right there. No, that's not what happened. Michan tried to make me eat the omelet because she put a drug in it. Rena, stop interpreting everything so conveniently. Mio just put the 5 pieces of omelet on the lid of her lunchbox. No, she didn't! She gave out each piece to every one of us! Rena, think about it. Have we ever done something like that before? We usually take whatever we like from everybody else's lunch. Nobody has ever said something like, this is your piece, so take this, or this is her piece, so don't take that, you know? She looked at me with that accusation in her eyes. To Rena, everything that comes out of my mouth must sound like a lie. To her, it's the fact that she was poisoned. She knows for sure that the drug was in her omelet. That's why she's contradicting me, because I was saying something different. I didn't come here to make her mad. I realized that disagreeing would only escalate her anger, so I decided not to. Anyway, you said this place isn't safe anymore. Where are you going to go then?
Well, I'll find somewhere.
It's not that easy to find a place to sleep. Why don't you come to my house?
I appreciate your offer, but I can't do that. The Sonosaki family is looking for me everywhere in the village. I don't think you'd betray me, but I don't think you can hide me from them either.
It's not the Sonosaki family who are looking for you. It's the police.
Why? Oishi's on my side, and I told him to leave me alone. I don't think he's looking for me.
I think they know that you killed Rina and Teppei.
Oh, I see.
I was relieved when we were finally on the same page, but I realized I was wrong the right way when she laughed in self-derision.
Do you know the police found out I killed him?
No, I have no idea. Nobody saw her killing them. Nobody saw us burying the corpses. We buried them deep in the mountains, and we camouflaged the spot perfectly. Plus, Mio moved into a secret place afterwards, so it's impossible the corpses would be found.
I went there this evening. I went there to check the spot where we buried them. Guess what I found?
That didn't sound good. Of course. Rena has no idea Mio took care of the corpses. She'd think the corpses are still buried there.
They weren't there. The corpses. Somebody dug them out and carried them somewhere else. Rena, that's because, it's impossible that somebody happened to dig them up. I chose the place. So the only people who know about this place are me and my friends who were there.
That's right.
Well, the thing is, I know who did it. It's Michan. They didn't want me to work with the police. They needed to have some insurance. But I didn't think they'd use the police to find me. I guess they don't care how it looks anymore, as long as I'm captured.
Come on! Do you really think Mio would do such a thing?
She did! Michan sold me out!
No, she didn't. Mio's your friend. We're all on your side no matter what happens. Even if the whole world turned against you, we'd still be on your side. Even if the whole ocean evaporated, Mio would never sell you out.
I don't understand why you're defending her.
It's just the opposite. I don't understand why you're doubting her.
That's simple. Mio revealed the existence of the conspiracy to me, and the fanatics are— Shut up! Shut up!
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to yell at you like that. I apologize. So please listen to me. The corpses are gone because Mio dug them out.
See? I told you! Listen to me until I finish!
Okay? Mio dug them out because she found out the place isn't going to be safe for much longer. There's a logging project scheduled to begin on the mountain this summer. That was why! That's why she dug them out, to save you from being caught! Rena laughed at me like I was stupid or something. I could tell she didn't understand anything I was saying.
Don't you get it? Michan made that up! She just wants to look good when you're around. She's a dirty bitch!
Hey! Then what was she supposed to do? Are you saying she should have left the corpses there knowing the forestry service would find them this summer? She couldn't do that because she's your friend!
Why can't you understand that Michan made everything up, including the logging project?
You're the one who doesn't understand anything! After I yelled at her, she gave me an icy look. She stared into my eyes, as if trying to find out what I came here for. I came here to wake you up. You're possessed by an impossible delusion because of Takano's scrapbooks. At first I thought it was interesting, but this is getting way out of hand. You know why? It's because they're making you sick!
Oh, the girl who looked just like Rika told me the same thing. You're actually right about that. I mean, I do have the maggot disease, so...
No, you don't understand! Listen to me very carefully. You need to lie down and rest for a while, okay? It'd be a lot safer to stay at Mion's house. She can protect you from the police, but if you don't trust her, you can stay at my place. Either way, it's not good for you to stay somewhere uncomfortable like this. Let's just go to my house for now. We'll have some cold tea together. It'll cool your fever down, and then you'll realize how crazy all this was.
What are you talking about, Keiichi? Are you saying that I'm crazy?
I'm not crazy, you are! You don't know it, but you're just being controlled by the parasite.
Keiichi, you think you have nothing to do with it, but you're one of the victims! You just don't realize it. I'm not going to blame you for that. I can save you. I can save everybody, so please just trust me for now.
You think we're all crazy? You think everybody in this village is crazy and you're not? Is that what you're saying?
It might even be spreading outside of Hinamizawa. They might have already spread it as far as Shishibone City or the entire prefecture. I really am the only one who isn't crazy. I know that thanks to Mio's scrapbooks. I thought you understood that too.
Wait a second, Rena! You're saying everybody in this world is crazy except you! That's the same thing as saying you're the only one who's crazy! The world hasn't changed. Nobody's crazy. Nobody's your enemy. If you ask me, it's crazy to believe you're the only one in this world who isn't crazy and that everyone in this world is your enemy. In short, your only enemy is yourself!
I feel sorry for you, Keiichi, but it's okay. It's not easy to accept the facts that Mio discovered, even if she wasn't sure about them. So I understand if you can't accept the truth. That's why I'm going to fight. I'm going to fight to save everybody. I'll beat them down and make them stop controlling you.
Rena, that's stupid! That's just idiotic! You feel sorry for me! You're stupid! Why don't you understand? Why do you still believe in crazy, stupid story like this? You're just interpreting everything to suit your convenience! They have replacements for Mio, Rika, and me. They're going to replace me after I'm killed. What? Replacement? Are you seriously saying that?
You know what? I'm going to tell you the truth. I haven't told you about this yet. The true identity of the parasites is aliens.
Aliens?
Yes, Oyashiro is also an alien. The description of his descending form from the sky matches with alien theories from all over the world. Whenever a great civilization flourished, it was always aliens who accomplished it. They had the advancing knowledge and they came to Earth to help immature humans evolve.
Hey, wait just a minute. You must be kidding, right, Rena? That parasite theory was interesting, but aliens, come on, that's just nonsense. But Rena believes this theory so seriously, and she feels sorry for me because I can't accept it. They've been controlling the community by living as parasites in human bodies, but sometimes someone with sharp intuition comes along and tries to reveal the truth, but they get rid of them in order to maintain their control of the community. They sometimes kidnap those people with sharp intuition and put a piece of metal in their bodies to gain control over them. When that doesn't work, they replace those people with their copies. They made a copy of Mio. They made a copy of me too. Rika's copy just came back a few minutes ago. I talked to it. It admitted that it came from space. It told me the end of the world coming soon, and it laughed at me, saying that I should struggle as much as I want. I'm going to fight. I'm not going to let them domesticate our species. I'll never, ever. You're so stupid. I stepped toward Rena and slapped her in the face. I was hoping it would turn her to sanity. Wake up! Rena, did you forget? It happened here just a few days ago. We all took each other's hands here, didn't we? And we promised to be a family made of friends forever. Rena played with her wrists. She didn't interrupt, so I continued. If you're seriously saying that aliens are controlling the Earth, I'll believe you. Even if everybody else in this world didn't, I would. That's because I'm your friend and I'm on your side no matter what. But I want you to listen to me too. I want you to listen to me because I'm your friend. Takano made up all those stories in the scrapbooks. It's true. Takano was an occult maniac. She enjoyed interpreting the old history of Hinamizawa any way she wanted. She made up ridiculous stories out of it, and she made them read it to people for fun. So this parasite story isn't the only one she made up. There are stories about the UFOs or some kind of creatures from the underworld and many other things. So the one you read in the scrapbooks is just a new story she made up recently. But you remember she liked to make fun of people? She was just making fun of you because you took her story so seriously. If it was just a story she made up, why was she killed? Her autopsy report says she'd been dead for 24 hours when she was found. But she was there at the festival. Why? How are you going to explain the cause of Tomitake's death? What about the Sonozaki family? What about the legend of Hinamizawa? What about Oyashiro and Rika? Are you saying everything's made up? Are you saying the whole world is lying to us? Stop making connections between everything! That's a typical symptom of paranoia! Don't think so hard! You're just tired. That's why you need a rest. All I'm gonna do is offer you a place to relax, a bed, and food. If you can't trust my food, you don't have to eat it. Eat whatever you have. Anyway, please just trust me for now. My story makes more sense than yours. I have evidence to prove it. But all you're saying is that I should trust you. Isn't it obvious who's right? Yes, it is obvious. Me! I'm right! How can you be so sure? It's easy. It's because I'm your friend. Friends never betray one another. Friends always help each other. So you have to believe that I'm right even when the world says I'm wrong. Because I'm your friend! I heard a thud. Rena dropped the hatchet. She staggered, holding her head in her hands. She was muttering something. It looked like she was asking herself questions. He wants me to trust him, but he has no evidence to prove he's right. He's being absurd! Or maybe he's right and I'm wrong. Am I really just misunderstanding everything? It would be wonderful if it was true. I wish I was wrong so many times. I wish Miho's scrapbooks were nothing but a bunch of stories and the parasite doesn't exist. Some coincidences have to connect together and I interpret them in the wrong way. I really wish that was the case. Don't give up, Rugu Rena. Be cool, Rugu Rena. This guy has poisoned his words. He's trying to take advantage of my weakness. Everything is too obvious not to believe. It's obvious the aliens have been trying to invade the Earth using this village as their base ever since it was called Gofuchi. Keiichi is a victim who's being controlled by them. He's just a victim. But when he grabbed my wrist really hard on that day, I could tell his intentions were true. I still remember the strength of his grip on my wrist. He tried to save me, his friend. I got lost in this crazy delusional maze many times. I prayed over and over that somebody would help me. And now my prayers are answered and Keiichi's reaching for my hand again. But don't forget, Rugu Rena. This guy says he's your friend. He hasn't told you everything about himself. Don't you remember? Oishi told you about it. He told me about what he found out.
I couldn't trust my friends, so Oishi checked on everybody, including Keiichi. That's why I know about what he did before he moved here. He looks like a good guy on the outside, but he's crazy on the inside. I can't trust him. I shouldn't trust him. So what? I don't care who he was before he moved here. I did many bad things in Ibaraki, too. I did many unforgivable things. I hurt my friends really badly, broke windows at the school, and was suspended. I was a very bad girl. Did he treat me differently because of that? No, he didn't. Rugu Rena is Rugu Rena. He'll forgive me because it was Rugu Reina who did all those bad things in Ibaraki. He won't forgive me. I should know better. My brother Keiichi believes that I'm a kind, modest girl because he doesn't know Reina. If he found out about Reina, what would he do? He wouldn't do anything. He wouldn't be scared of me. Rena is Rena, and Reina's a different girl. The same goes with Keiichi. I don't care who he was before he moved here. We're even.
Are you okay, Rena?
Don't touch me.
Rena knocked my hand aside when I reached for her.
You keep saying you're my friend. You want me to trust you because of that. You want me to believe that you're right even if the world says you're wrong. Are you out of your mind? That's more delusional than anything else.
I don't care what you say. I'm your friend. Everything I say for your sake. Don't doubt me. I know I'm right.
Really? Then can I ask you something?
Yes, anything.
Friends don't keep secrets from another, right?
Of course. I'm not hiding anything from you.
You're lying.
I'm not! Yes, you are! What's so funny?
Keiichi, you think you can keep it secret from me, don't you? I know everything. I know what you did before you moved here. I know.
Felt as if my entire body was covered in frosty needles. My body and mind froze all of a sudden. I don't believe this. I don't believe this. How come she knows about that?
I asked Oishi to check on everybody. Everybody. That's why I know what you did before you came here.
Stop it. You got it all wrong.
You only targeted little girls. I have to tell Sadako and Rika about it. I can't believe a dangerous person like you was near us the whole time.
No, it wasn't like that. It just turned out that way.
A series of attacks on school kids. Bravo! That has a strong impact on the series of mysterious deaths of Hinamizawa.
No, it wasn't like that.
It wasn't like what? You shot little kids with a BB gun when they were walking alone on a deserted street. What a horrifying incident. It instilled fear into the whole city for a while. Members of the PTA had to watch the kids at every street corner when they walked behind home and school. You shot one of the girls in her eyes and she was badly injured. Fortunately, the damage wasn't permanent. You had a BB gun and you only shot little kids. How disgusting. What made you enjoy it so much? You must have really enjoyed it because you continued to do it for a long time. But then you turned yourself into the police, accompanied by your parents in a crisis of conscience. You couldn't even take responsibility for your actions on your own. Juvenile law was kind to you, wasn't it? It prevented your name from being disclosed to the public or the victims. I bet your father spent a lot of money to protect you. He paid a lot of compensation to settle the case out of court, and he placed you on probation. After the case cooled down, he used the power of money once again to move far away from the city. Everything is solved, right? You're lucky that your father's so rich.
No, it wasn't like that.
Why didn't you tell us about it? You told me that you did nothing but study at your previous school. Why did you lie like that?
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to lie.
I thought friends didn't keep secrets from one another.
Right? So that makes you now my friend! The blades of her words hit hard, and they made my eyes bleed. The blood was clear and it tasted salty.
I can't trust you because of what you did in the past. Don't you ever think you can hide it from me?
I remember how deeply I regretted it. I couldn't regret enough. I wanted to forget it, but I couldn't. I made a stupid mistake. Why? Why does she have to bring it up right now? I apologized and accepted everything, and I moved here to put it behind me.
I wanted to have a fresh start in Hinamizawa. I swore to myself to live a clean life from then on. Everything is ruined now. I'll be a criminal, no matter where I go. I was so stressed out from my exam studies, I was frustrated. I randomly shot people and I didn't care if it was girls or kids. Why did I do something so stupid? There was no reason. I had no reason to do that. I just wanted to get someone's attention. I didn't have the courage to tell my parents I didn't want to study. I just wanted somebody to scold me, so I used a childish way to get attention. I regret what I did, I swear. I'll never do something that stupid again. If I do it again, they can send me to the chair. If there was something I could do to completely be forgiven, I'd do it no matter what it was. But no matter how deeply I regret it, and no matter how long I atone for my sin, I'll never be forgiven. That's why I wanted to sweep the whole thing under the carpet and have a fresh start. I have nothing to say if somebody tells me that forgetting my sin is an act of cowardice. Sins are sins. You can't just get rid of them. You have to carry them for the rest of your life. I know that that's the fate of a sinner. If you don't want to love like that, don't be a sinner. I understand that logic too. But then, how are sinners supposed to live?
Anyway, you're not my friend. I'm not going to take orders from someone who isn't my friend. I need you to leave me alone for a while, okay?
I didn't notice until she spoke that I was on my knees hanging my head. Rena picked up the hatchet she dropped earlier. I wanted her to hit my head with it. Yeah, that's right. If anything's gonna be torn apart, I'd rather be in my body. Compared to the pain of my heart being torn to shreds, I'd rather she cut my head off. I believed it. I still believe it. I still believe it right at this moment. I believe that I'm their friend. But in fact, I'm starting to become aware of it. I want to believe that I'm their friend because I don't want to accept my past. I'm trying to tell myself, but I feel stupid crying like this. My face is all messy with tears. I was never their friend. I'm a sinner, and I hid my past from them. I hid it because I was scared. I told her that friends don't hide anything from another, and hid my past from them. I hid my sin from them. My past has nothing to do with how I live my life here. If I ever attacked a kid in this village just because I was frustrated, I wouldn't mind if they killed me and cut me into pieces. But I'll never do anything like that again. I just want to live my life normally. What I did before I moved here has nothing to do with my life now. For instance, Rena moved here too. I wouldn't change the way I see her, even if I found out she did something bad before she moved here. Right? I wouldn't, would I? Even if Rena beat some of her friends or broke all the windows in her school, I wouldn't care because it happened in Ibaraki. She didn't do that in Hinamizawa. Rena's Rena. She's my best friend. That's why I wouldn't see her differently, even if I found out about her past. That's a lie. That's a lie. That's a lie. That's a lie! I'd keep distance from her if I found out she really did such things. I'd be scared of her. I wouldn't try to listen to her. Why? It's just a rumor. Why would I be scared of her? She's my best friend. If I was in her situation, I would reject her just like she did. So Rena's rejection of me was completely natural. Then what am I supposed to do? I was the only one crying. Rena wasn't crying. She looked at me as if she was looking at something dirty. After giving me a nasty look, she disappeared into the darkness. Rena didn't forgive me. There was nothing I could do to just atone for my sin to keep crying, still down on my knees. I messed up a couple of times. I usually don't make mistakes like that. Sorry. Because I knew it was coming, so I messed up twice. Well, let's read those tips. Our reason to move to Hinamizawa. I don't remember how many years ago it was. There was this beautiful village surrounded by nature, but the village was going to be submerged in water because of a new dam project. The villagers protested against it en masse. They held sightseeing tours so people from other places would enjoy the local beauty. I joined the tour out of simple curiosity. I wanted to take a look at the nature that might sink under the water. But when I got there,
The place took my breath away. The air was so clean and clear, and the landscape was beautiful beyond words. Since then, I was hooked on the inspiring nature of this place. I fell in love with the village so much, I was very glad when I heard the dam project was cancelled. That village is where I'm building our new house. When I visited there, I found a beautiful field of wildflowers. I saw 2 cute girls playing in that field. Both of them were very beautiful, with long straight hair. They were probably neighbors or best friends. I still remember how they looked. One of them had a very beautiful face with a clear-cut profile for her age, and the other had a very pretty, innocent look. I'm sure both of them will grow up into fine, beautiful ladies in the future. They were running around the field like they were dancing. I asked them if the field was their playground. They said they were playing in hopes that newcomers would move to the village. When I saw a sign saying lot for sale, that was when I began to think it might be a great place to live. There was nothing here, and things are a bit inconvenient compared to life in the city, but I sincerely believe this is the best place for us to start a new life together as a family. A lot of things happened back in the city, but the past is the past. It's best that we move on. We learn from our mistakes, and I hope we can start a new, more ideal life in this village. Keiichi, I hope you'll grow to love it here as much as I do. You do? I'm happy to hear that. I'm also happy that we're doing a lot better as a family since we moved here. Back in the city, we were far from close, so I'm truly happy we're able to start from scratch. Now that I come to think about it, I never had a chance to have a conversation with you like this before. Oh, Keiichi, do you know any 2 beautiful girls with long straight hair in your school? I think they're a lot younger than you. Oh, you know 2 beautiful girls, but one has short hair, huh? I don't think they're the ones I saw. You want to know why I asked? Oh, I just wanted to ask them to be models for my portraits. I was thinking about making them wear cute costumes. Ahem. Basically, I just wanted to see them again for artistic reasons. So if you happen to see them, let your dad know, okay? Promise me, okay? Oops. Cough, cough. Oh my goodness gracious. Okay, so let's continue. Because it's important. At lunchtime the next day, everybody in class was talking about Rena's disappearance. We were all worried about her safety, but I kept safe distance from everybody else. I do wonder where she went. Someone said that she was demoned away. How can they say such things? I can't believe their nerve!
Keiichi, you look down today. Me.
Sadako and Rika noticed something odd about my attitude. I couldn't sleep at all last night because of what Rena told me. Friends don't keep secrets from one another. That sentence bit into my heart. I couldn't sleep because of the pain. Mio, Sadako and Rika too. I have something I need to talk to you about. Is it about Rena? No, it's not. It's about me. I decided to tell them about it because they were my friends. I didn't know what I was expecting to change by doing so. They might despise me. Was there any benefit in telling them? No, there wasn't. I knew that for sure. I still wanted to tell them about it because I thought it helped to heal the pain I was feeling.
What is it about, Keiichi?
Well, it's the truth about myself. I'd appreciate if you listened to me. It's about what happened to me before I moved here. I was the kind of guy who wasn't good at anything but study. I learned the tricks of the game called studying at my cram school. I enjoyed the sense of superiority I felt by getting good grades. I kept studying just because I wanted to look down on the other students. When my grades got better, my parents got happier, and my teachers praised me. I felt good. It was fun to look down on students who were good at running or dodgeball or swimming, and that was the only reason I kept studying. Before I knew it, not only was I the top of my class, I was also the top of my school, so I started to think I was the most important student there. I looked down on the kids who were playing in the schoolyard during lunch break, and I enjoyed a sense of superiority to them and my insignificance. The more I studied, the better everybody expected me to do. They started to place high hopes on me. They expected me to go to the best school in Japan. I flattered myself in thinking I deserved to go to that school as well. But the fun went out of looking down on people, while the burden of studying didn't change it a bit. My classmates stopped admiring my cleverness after a while. My teachers started to push me to study more.
All of a sudden, the fun had gone out of it. To begin with, I didn't even like to study. I had average reflexes, and I was average in a fight. I was an average boy with nothing that really drew attention, so when I found something that I could use to get that attention, I jumped on it. It happened to be studying for me, but if it was riding a unicycle or juggling, I would have done that too. When I realized I didn't enjoy studying anymore, it got very boring. I was just a little boy who wanted to keep being praised when I did something better than anybody else. I finished all my summer homework because my parents praised me for it, and I took charge of cleaning duties at school because my teachers praised me for it. So when they stopped praising me for what I did, I began to feel as though my life had no meaning. My parents used to give me an allowance that was proportional to how good my grades were. I used to get a substantial amount of money for my age. I don't know if I had a natural interest in violence, or if I was looking for it because of my frustration at the time. I took an interest in BB guns. At first, I shot at cardboard boxes. It was fun. Being violent at pieces of cardboard relieved a lot of stress. Nobody blamed me for doing that. But as soon as I started wanting to do something I should have never done, on the box that my BB gun came in as a warning label that read, "Do not shoot at people." That was when I thought about doing just that. Why did I do something I shouldn't have? I guess I was just immature. I wasn't interested in studying anymore, but I forced myself to do so anyway. My parents forced me to go to several cram schools, and I was mad at them for that. I should have told them I didn't want to study anymore, but I didn't have the courage to do that. So I used my frustration as an excuse to do something cowardly. I shot at kids who were younger than I was with my BB gun. It gave me such a thrill. It felt so good to do something bad when I was overcoming it with studying. Needless to say, I had no personal grudge against the kids I shot. As long as the kids passed through a deserted street, they met the requirements to become my target. I didn't mean to hurt them. I shot at them once or twice from a distance. That was all I wanted to do. But sometimes they didn't react at all because the BBs hit the thicker part of their clothes or something. I didn't like that, so I started to shoot until they noticed they were being hit. It inevitably escalated into a barrage of gunfire. I studied a lot. I'm doing something good, so I deserve to do something bad to balance out the good thing I'm doing. That was the unbelievably selfish excuse I made. I thought I had a right to do things like that because I was suffering myself. I thought people who weren't suffering like I was deserved to be shot and get hurt a little bit. I was so selfish, so arrogant, and so immature. I was disgusted with myself. If I could have met myself at that time, I would have given myself a punch in the face so hard I'd knock out all my teeth. They started to call it a series of attacks on the school children. The principal of my school held a morning assembly to inform everybody about the case and to warn them to be careful when playing outside, and I was laughing sneakily. The PTA issued a letter of warning and advice to take the safest way to and from school. Parents took turns watching kids when they walked between home and school in groups. The more serious it got, the more it reminded me of the excitement I first felt when my grades started going up. I was absorbed in that game I was playing. I didn't think I'd get caught someday. I didn't even think to stop doing it either. One day, I found a little girl who was walking around the narrow, dark street all alone. She was a very small girl. I don't know if she was on her way to her friend's house or if she was running an errand. I didn't care which. It was careless of her to go out alone. The school had warned her not to, so it was her fault. Just like always, I made a selfish excuse and attacked her. Some of the shots hit her in the back. She noticed she was being attacked by something. She turned around. It was a natural reaction. At that time, I didn't hesitate to rain hell upon her. When she turned around, I was still shooting at her. Usually when I shot at a kid, she cried in pain and ran away, but this girl was different. She thrashed around in excruciating pain, holding one of her eyes. I saw her doing that. I realized what had happened right away. The BB had hit her in the eye. Until that moment, I didn't think what would happen when a pellet could easily go through a cardboard box, hit an eye. Anyway, the girl howled in pain, and for the first time, I realized I'd done something horrible. She saw me, so I couldn't take her to a hospital. I couldn't do anything about it, so I left her there while she was still screaming in pain. I wondered if she was okay, and I worried that she had lost her eye. I kept thinking about her. I didn't even feel like eating that day. I went to the bookshelf in our living room and snuck a medical book to my room and studied the structure of the human eye. It was too late to make a difference, but I studied what kind of injuries would make a person lose their vision. I knew it wouldn't make the sin I committed weigh any less, even if I found out she wouldn't lose her sight. I couldn't sleep that night. I suffered from a high fever. It wasn't my parents, my teacher, or the police who punished me first for what I did. It was my own body.
Before dawn, I woke my parents up and confessed to my sin. They were shocked at first, but it seemed like they understood the situation quickly due to my recent disobedient behavior and my interest in BB guns. My mom cried hysterically. My dad slapped me in the face until it swelled up. Before the sun came up, I turned myself into the police, accompanied by my parents. Sadako stared at me with a stunned expression. I deserved to receive that kind of look. What I did was very wrong, and I needed to accept that.
Is that all true?
Yes, it's all true. I'm sorry I didn't tell you until now. What made you want to tell us? Mion asked me. Rika nodded in agreement.
To tell you the truth, I don't understand why.
Well, I know, but...
No, I'm just saying that I don't see any reason why you had to tell us about it.
Well, I didn't want to keep secrets from my friends. You're my friends, so I couldn't hide it from you anymore.
What are you expecting us to do?
I'm not expecting anything. I just...
If you're asking for forgiveness, I can't give it to you. You have to ask the kids you attacked if you want that. It won't help Annie to tell us about it. I agree with Rika. I think you're really brave to tell us, but I don't understand what you want to do from here on out.
I don't want to do anything. I just thought it's not right to keep secrets from my friends. My friends looked annoyed by the sudden confession of my past. I took it as bitter medicine. I got what I deserved.
Kei-chan, I have a question. Why can't friends just keep secrets from each other? What? I mean, that's what you're saying, but I really don't agree.
I don't agree either.
Mion and Rika obviously disagreed with my statement. Sadako nodded, following suit.
I don't think it's wrong to refuse to tell people things you'd rather not. We all have a lot of things we don't want to tell anybody else, like tragedies, mistakes, and other things you don't want to remember. If I had to tell someone everything to be true friends with them, I wouldn't want to have them as my friends at all. But...
Keiichi, there's a difference between things you don't need to confess and things you have to confess. You don't have to confess what you did to receive forgiveness. But once you're forgiven, you don't need to keep confessing. What? You turned yourself into the police and they scolded you good, did they not? You atoned for your sin and you were forgiven. What more do you have to do?
You turned yourself in and you accepted the result. You did what you had to do.
It's very important that you keep reminding yourself of your sins so that you won't make the same mistake again. But you only have to take care of that on your own. It's not something you have to confess to everybody.
That's very true. I have many embarrassing stories that I'd rather not tell everyone. Sadako does have quite a lot of them. It's not like me. Rika has a heap of them too. Me.
Sadako and Rika fooled around with each other like they always did. Mia looked at them and looked back at me.
Sadako just says something very important. Did you get it?
You mean the part where she says she has a dark past that nobody needs to know about?
No! The bit after that. She's saying that everybody has something they'd rather hide. Considering that nobody grows up in a sterilized room, we all learn by trial and error. It's called life, you know? You do both good things and bad things in order to grow up. Your goal is to become a wonderful person by the end. Everything that happens is an important experience, including both the good and the bad. The same goes with everybody, with Sadako, Rika, and me too. The same applies to everybody in this class.
For example, me used to be a very bad girl. Meow, meow.
Well, I'm not proud of it or anything, but shooting at people with a BB gun is like nothing compared to what I did. I used to throw bricks at people. I can't even count how many times I ended up in a cell at a police station. During the dam conflict, I was a regular there. I'm not kidding. It's all true.
But it happened in the past, and she doesn't have to tell you about it, even though she's your friend.
Even though she's my friend.
I made a lot of embarrassing mistakes and committed some crimes too, but I don't tell you about them because telling you wouldn't help in any way.
If you feel better by telling us about your past, we'll listen. but there's no rule that says you have to tell us about your past just because you're your friends. I don't want to dig up a past that you don't want to talk about. That's what true friends are all about, I think. I agree with you, but we're happy if you feel better now by telling us about your past. We can forget about it if you want to. We'll never change the way that we see you because of this.
What you did in the city has nothing to do with who you are right now. You're a precious friend to us. I actually don't want to know about your past, to be honest with you. I agree with Rika. The same goes the other way around. Even if you did something great in the city, if you were a nasty person here, I wouldn't care what great things you did back then.
In other words, Kei-chan, the sin you committed in the city is something that you should keep secret in your heart. You don't need to dig it back up just to tell us. I mean, you can if you want. And if anybody changed the way they saw you because of that, I'd look down on them.
No matter what happened in the past, as long as you're a great person at present, you shouldn't be embarrassed of yourself, am I wrong? What's the purpose of living if we can never earn redemption? Sadako used to be a big baby who couldn't do anything by herself. She regretted it deeply, and now she's a strong, independent girl. That's why I admire Sadako today. I don't care how weak she used to be. Rika!
What about you, Kei-chan? Are you going to change the way you see me because you know I used to be a very bad girl who was a regular at the police station? You won't, will you? I am who I am. Our friendship won't change, and we'll keep playing and laughing like we always do, right? That's what being friends is all about. What? What's going on? Mion is trying to cheer me up with an encouraging smile on her face, but her expression became distorted all of a sudden. Big teardrops fell from my eyes. What? Why? Why am I crying? Let me just say this. I didn't know anything about Satoshi because you all hid it from me. We didn't mean to hide it. You didn't tell me about the incidents that happen every year, right? That's because we didn't want to, You didn't want to scare me? Just because of that, you left me out? No, we didn't mean to. Mion didn't know what to say. She had tears in her eyes. She thought she did me a favor. She didn't know why it turned out like this. She didn't want me to make me scared of the village since I just moved here. What more reason did she need? I asked you before, Mion, if there was a crime at the dam construction site. You told me there was none. But that was a dismember and lynch murder. You lied! I'm sorry. I didn't mean to lie to you. I thought friends didn't hide things from each other, right? So that makes us not friends! Ah! What are friends? What are friends? What were friends to me? They were my true friends. They really cared about me. They were so nice to me and helped me feel at home in this village. I couldn't have been happier. Everything was great, wasn't it? Kei-chan, please don't. Mion seemed like she didn't know what to say. Her eyes looked moist. It was hard to believe she was really acting like this. It wasn't like Mion at all. I could feel her pain. She was in pain because she didn't know what I was blaming her for. She looked so sad, but I didn't notice her pain. I thought I was her friend. I didn't understand her feelings. I didn't trust her. I just used the word friends, but I didn't do anything like friends were supposed to do. That's right. I was such a fool. Mion was Mion. She was my best friend. Why did I doubt her? Why? Kei-chan looks down these days.
He just moved here from the city. I guess the fatigue must be setting in. He probably caught a cold as a result.
I see. Then he needs to eat something nutritious. My grandma's making ohaki today. I'm going to ask her to give me some so we can bring it to Kei-chan. Oi, Mion, wash your hands first. Hello, Rena. Would you like to try making one first?
Oh, that sounds like fun! Yes, I'd love to try. Here we go.
I have a great idea.
What is it, Mi-chan? What's that little bottle? What is it?
It's not fun to only have sweet ohagi, you know? Let's put hot sauce in one of them. It'll wake him up for sure. That's right. That's what happened. They brought ohagi for me to help me get better, and they only tried to cheer me up. Why did I get so scared of them? Just because Mion knew what I had at lunch at Angel where I grew terrified of her.
Hey, you don't look too good. maybe you should go lie down.
That's right. Maybe we should leave. I just wanted to cheer me up with a joke, but because I look so serious.
See you!
Please get better soon. I hope we can hang out in the club together tomorrow. That was the normal way of saying goodbye.
I don't want you to be absent from school tomorrow, okay?
First of all, have I ever visited any of my classmates who were absent from the cold? No, I haven't. I've never done such a nice thing to anybody because it'd be too much of a bother. But they did all of that for me. I understand visiting a friend in a hospital, but I just caught a cold. They came to visit me with Ohagi so I could get better soon. I should have been thankful to them and said, I'll get better soon, and I'm sure I can come to school tomorrow, so I'll see you then.
That was what I was supposed to say! What did I do instead? I locked the door and I closed the door and locked it as if rejecting them. What was I so scared of? What was I so afraid of? Why didn't I say any words of appreciation to my friends who cared about me? I was just so scared of the Ohagi they brought for me. What was I thinking? It was impossible there was a needle in one of them. There wasn't actually a needle at all. It was all in my head because I read some manga about someone putting needles or razors in people's food. It scared me so much that I believed it could also happen for me for some reason. I thought there was a needle in the Ohagi. You were so stupid, Keiichi! Why would your friends put a needle in the food they only brought to make you get better? It was crazy to think that. Even if there was a needle on one of them, I should have thought it was some kind of mistake. I should have believed my friend's innocence. That was what a true friend would do, but what did I do? I threw the Ohagi they spent so much effort making on the floor. Why? Why did I do that? I got so along with them. I moved to Hinamizawa and made friends for the first time in my life. They were my best friends. Meeting them was the most wonderful experience of my life. I'd probably never have another one like that for the rest of my days. I knew that, but I got scared and I doubted them. I noticed I was acting odd. That's why they called the manager Irie. They thought a sedative might help me relax, so I should relax and rest and get better. That's why they carried me up to my room. You just wanted to make it fun. She's the kind of person who expresses her goodwill by making a joke out of it. I knew that better than anybody. She knew Irie would roll out my shirt to check out my heartbeat with a stethoscope. She was just trying to draw graffiti on my shirt, just like she did to Tomitake as punishment for the game he lost. Yes, that was why Mio took a felt marker out of her pocket. A felt marker. She brought a marker from home because she just wanted to do something funny. She tried to cheer me up by making me take punishment for fun rather than nursing me, because that's just what Mion's like. She went to the trouble of bringing a felt marker to my house just because she wanted to cheer me up. Rena held me down tightly, and Mion came closer to write something on my shirt. Mion whispered the words she was going to write on my shirt. I heard them. I heard them clearly. I heard she was going to write on my shirt. I hope you get well soon, Mion. I heard them. Then why? I should have known she wasn't going to do anything to hurt me. Then why? Why? Why did the marker look like a syringe to me? Why did I think Mion was going to kill me? It was impossible. It was impossible. Why? 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 Why did I misunderstand that Mion was going to kill me? Ah! The numbness in my head receded, and I slowly felt the blood starting to run through my entire body again. How long was I squatting there? For a few minutes? Or a lot longer than that? As I looked up at the clock, the hands weren't moving at all, as if they had stopped while my eyes had closed. Really? The atmosphere in the room wasn't filled with insanity like it was earlier, but it was quiet and gray. Rena wasn't holding me down. Mion wasn't about to give me an injection. Was all of that just some kind of illusion? There was no sense of presence other than myself in that room. It was an extraordinary experience, the kind I'd never had before. I was there, with Rena and Mion. I doubted my sanity for a moment, but at the same time, I felt some kind of relief too. That scary incident was just an illusion after all. Neither Rena or Mion would have done terrible things to me. Tears started forming in my eyes. My emotions were running high. Why? It wasn't a question of why tears were forming in my eyes. Why? It was a question of my sadness. Why did I feel so sad? I don't know. I don't know. Don't know. What do you mean you don't know? You do know! I was so stupid. What the hell was I doing? I was so pathetic and helpless. Mion just tried to cheer me up, that's all. I liked her so much. She was my best friend. She was older than me. She hung out with me like we were at the same age. She was the first person
was lying down in a natural position near the window. She was covered in dusty red blood from her head to her chest. The red fluid splattered on the wall was Mio's. What had I done? What had I done? I would never forgive myself! I surely did. Think of you as all my friends. Why did all this happen? There was nothing fun in my life in my old school. When I talked to anyone, it was only ever about the chances of passing the entrance exam to the schools we wanted to go to. My life was shaded in gray. Friends to me were like rivals and enemies to view for school recommendation and test scores. My friends here taught me how unnatural that was. This whole month was a blast. We raised the roof over lunch, our club activities, and the festival. A warm liquid flowed out of my eyes. To my surprise, it was my tears. I didn't have any obligation to cry for them, but I couldn't stop it. Even though they attempted to kill me, even though they almost killed me, I couldn't forget the memories we made during the past month. Were those fun days fake? Was it an act? That they were kept playing perfectly to set me up until today? Was it only me who believed that they were my friends? It couldn't be! Rena and Mion, they were my friends for real! Those happy days couldn't have just been a performance! Rena and Mion must have been forced by somebody to kill me. Or it was an extraordinary experience called Oyashiro possessed them and took over their consciousness. No matter what it was, both Rena and Mion were my best friends! I was stupid! I was such a fool! Such a fool, such a fool, such a fool! I wasn't making any sense at all! I killed my best friends! They were my best friends! Then why didn't I trust them? Why didn't I listen to them? I beat them to death! Who did I think I was? I made it sound like I didn't do anything wrong. I felt like everybody went crazy except me. I was such a fool. It was the other way around. Of course it was. I was the only one who went crazy. Kei-chan, I did something terrible. I'll never forgive myself. Mion was still alive. I still have a memory of beating her to death because I couldn't trust her. But that's a memory from a non-existent different world. But even though it happened in a different world, I killed Mion. I didn't realize how deep that sin was. Even though until now, Mion was at fault for being killed.
What's with Keiichi?
I don't know. Kei-chan, please calm down. I'm not dead. You didn't beat me to death. I mean, I never let that happen. Okay?
What? There's no one in our club who you can beat to death, Keiichi.
No. Mion and Sadako looked confused, having no idea why I was crying. But I couldn't help myself. I learned just now how I could earn redemption by confessing my sin, but I could never earn redemption for this. Not from Mion. No matter how much I cry in this world, nobody could give me forgiveness. So I could never earn redemption for this sin. Right then, Chie came in and noticed me crying. You wouldn't see a teenage boy crying like that very often. Chie asked me what was going on, but at that moment I couldn't hear anything. Mion and Sadako looked confused and they didn't know how to explain the situation. Rika approached me in the midst of my sobs. You remember, don't you, Keiichi? You remember how you killed Rena and me? Yes! I killed them! But I didn't accept my sin! I pretended I was the victim! I cursed and blamed my friends until the moment I died! There was blood everywhere and in the end I just died alone, without any regrets. I clawed at my itchy throat in the phone booth. I didn't notice my sin, and I died alone. Keiichi, did you notice your sin just now? Yes, I did! It took me so long, but I just noticed it! I remember what I did not here, but in a different world that looks just like this one. I killed my friends because I couldn't trust them! They were just trying to help me, but I didn't listen to them! I don't know why I did it. I didn't care if people were staring. I just kept crying. I wanted to transmute my sin to tears in order to squeeze it out of me, but the tears that were coming out of my eyes weren't my sin. They were just tears of regret for doing something irreversible. At that time, I felt something touching my head. I opened my eyes and saw Rika patting my head gently. I didn't need any comfort, and I didn't deserve any from Rika, but those words she spoke to me weren't ones of comfort. I forgive you, Keiichi. What? Keiichi, you notice your sin. It's a very difficult thing to do, and not something everybody can.
Not everybody can understand how great you are, and hence they can't forgive you. But I can, because I know how great you are. Rika, this is a miracle. You noticed the sin you committed in another world. That's impossible to do, but you did it. That's the most unbelievable and precious of miracles that could exist in this world. I didn't understand anything that Rika was saying, but it felt like she was the only one who understood this impossible memory I had. So, you should be able to understand what Rugu Rena is going through right now. Yes, I understand. She's going through exactly the same thing I went through. She wants to trust her friends more than anything, but she can't. She's the one who's losing her mind, but she doesn't understand that. She thinks this world is going crazy instead. I don't know how to save her. I have no idea because I failed. I didn't understand until I died. No, I didn't even understand even after I died. So how can I make Rena realize what I did even after that? I can't save her. I can't save her. I know because I was just like her. There's nothing I can do. Calm down, Keiichi. I did fail. But that didn't mean Rena would too. There was no excuse not to save her because I thought she'd fail. After all, what did Rena do back then? I was totally going mad, but she risked her life to save me. In my room in that world, I'd beaten her to death many times with that metal bat. She was smiling. She knew I was scared, and that's why she smiled for me. I beat her so many times. Her arms were broken, and her forehead was cut open. I remembered. Rena didn't block her head. Even at the very last moment, she opened her arms toward me. Like she was looking for a hug. But I still doubted her, and I raised the metal bat up high. Rena told me then that it was okay. Please, trust me. My friend still told me to believe in her, and she told me to trust her. But I didn't. I lost and attacked her. She was in danger. She was actually killed. But she didn't block her head. Instead, she used her arms to reach out for me. Rena continued to say those words until the moment she died. Trust me. Please. Trust me. She risked her life to save me. Until her very last moment, she kept telling me to believe in her. I didn't listen for so long. I truly believe I didn't do anything wrong. I feel a little bit better now that you've forgiven me, Rika. But I still have to atone for my sin. I'm going to do that the same way that Rena did for me. I'm going to save her. Rena risked her life to save me. She cared about me until her very last moments. She trusted me. She believed her words would reach my heart, so she kept saying them until I cracked her skull. I don't care if I die. Rena died for me. I can die for her too. I was such a fool for failing to understand my friend's feelings. That's why I didn't understand what she was saying, but Rena might be different. This world is messed up, but it doesn't mean that I can just quit. Quitting is the same thing as not believing. I believe in Rena and our friendship. That's why I can still make it. I can still prevent a tragedy from happening. I can change fate. We can struggle together to seize our future. Rika nodded with a serious look on her face, and she put her hand in the pocket of her skirt. Keiichi, I won't give up either. I'm not going to lose hope in this world. I was tired from meeting with countless failures. I gave up on this world as it started to go wrong. That's why I kind of gave up on Rena last night. But I was wrong. I realized the will to fight is such a beautiful and divine thing, and it can work miracles that even alter the path of fate. So I'll fight with you. I'll fight again. I'll keep fighting until I reach the future.
I have no idea what you two are talking about. It's normal that you don't remember. Keiichi's a special exception. Huh? I suppose I'm too brilliant to understand what's going on.
Rika touched Sadako's forehead to hers. But please remember one day when you're desperately driven to the corner of misfortune. Please remember that he risks his life to save you.
Keiichi fought for me? It's hard to believe.
Isn't that right, Keiichi? Rika looked at me, smiling as if waiting for my agreement. I wasn't sure if I'd risk my life for Sadako. No, I was sure I'd risk my life for her. Sadako was my friend. If anybody tried to make her unhappy, I'd beat them to death without hesitation. I'd risk my life to save her.
There might have even been a world like that. I nodded to Rika. Rika nodded back to me, looking happy. Maibara, is everything okay? She realized I'd finally calmed down as she asked me that. Yeah, everything's fine now. I'm sorry I worried you. Anyway, Mion. What? What is it? I walked toward her. Mion stepped back, not knowing what was going on. She bumped into the blackboard. What is it, Kei-chan? You look so serious. I held Mion tightly. She didn't know what was going on and her face was turning red. Crying on her shoulder, I told her the following. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. What? What are you sorry for, Kei-chan? This old man doesn't really get what's going on. It's okay. You don't need to get anything. So just listen to me. I'm very sorry. And the ohagi you made, they were really good. They were delicious. They cheered me up. Well, I wanted to tell you that. I would go to school the next day, and the day after that too. I wanted to tell you that I would see you at school tomorrow, but I couldn't. I'm very sorry that I didn't give you any words of appreciation till today. I'll never doubt you, Mion. I'll never doubt any of my friends. Never ever again. So, Mion, please forgive me for what I did that day. Mion must have no idea what I was talking about. Of course I didn't either. I didn't understand what I was talking about. My sin wasn't forgiven yet. I needed to confess my sin in order to receive her forgiveness. I know you risked your life to save me, Mion, so I'll risk my life to save you too when you're in some kind of trouble. I promise I will! Kei-chan. You're making me blush. Mion's face was bright red. She didn't know what was going on. Sadako was blushing too with a confused look on her face, but Rika and I understood everything. We weren't going to accept a tragedy. We couldn't give up just because the world was going out of order. We were going to fight against fate to the very last moment. Mion fought for me. Rena fought for me. That's why I was going to fight for Rena, just like she did for me. I was going to risk my life to save hers. Alright, we're gonna stop here because we read for so long and it's already 11 and I read for a long time. I probably forgot everything I wanted to say, but I just felt it was important not to leave it at the note of Keiichi crying like that. Anyway, we're gonna stop right here. Good night!